All right, back in the chair.
My chair?
After how many weeks?
I don't know. We haven't recorded for a while because we were recording quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then we weren't, and that's how that story goes.
Yeah, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves and gave us that bumper for releases. So
yeah. I mean, I had a lot of other shit to do too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just makes it easier for you to just push things off because you're like, oh, well, we have episodes to last us for a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, okay, we can just take the day off or whatever. But
I don't. What's a day off?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you can take a day off
from recording.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just it's one of those things where now we're kind of at a spot where we have to record, but it's fine.
That's the energy you want going into this. Well,
no, I like
we fucking need to do something. So
yeah, and together. Because with all the overtime you're working, I'm not seeing.
Yeah, who the fuck are you? I vague memory from my past, and I had a book release and all kinds of other shit going on.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on.
A lot of it's exciting, so it's like good things. It's positive things, you know.
Yep.
I'm tired.
Show about pop culture stuff. We keep watching and connected, but it's never enough. Talking with our friends about our favorite things, TV shows and movies and some random swearing. Hey! 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 This is the pretty, this is the little, this is the pretty little podcast.
But now I get a chance to be on the microphone and be inside your head.
Oh, get out of my head.
And make you do things I want you to do.
I hope you're talking to the people listening and not me, because
no one's listening.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck it.
Nobody listens to this.
Oh, you do?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have listened to a couple episodes that you and I have done.
My brother does.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, Kaylin.
Kaylin!
Thank you for being a listener. We appreciate it.
He's a good guy.
So, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Chad. I've got perpetual special guest.
Yay! Yeah, that was the thing, because you and Chucky both want me like as a part of this podcast, and I've said from the beginning, this is not my fucking podcast. I have a podcast. Thank you. I don't need another. And I know that you guys think your little names are super clever and funny, and what the fuck ever. I think they're dumb, and I absolutely refuse to participate in that. So we decided that I could be perpetual special guest. It's fucking stupid.
Why?
Because you're not a deadbeat. I had a deadbeat dad, okay? Like,
look,
Jesus
I'm not a deadbeat
Christ.
dad.
I know.
I'm a deadbeat Chad.
But you're not. I would not. That also reflects badly on me, as if I would be with someone who would be classified as a deadbeat. Are you kidding me? But no, my little former gutter punk husband, you're so hardcore and all of that shit.
I'm just not good at being a Chad.
No. Well, I think that, yeah.
I'm not one of these fucking like hulky, muscle-bound guys stealing people's girlfriends.
Thank you for that. Well, I don't really care about the stealing girlfriends part, but thank you for not being overly muscled. That is not my jam.
Yeah, I'm not out, walking the streets looking for soccer moms. Or
walking the streets? Just on the prowl?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what that is. It's not that I'm a deadbeat, because I'm anything but. I don't feel like a deadbeat.
I would hope
plan
not.
On being one. It's just it's a joke.
Oh. Well, I didn't get it. I kind of get it now that you've explained it.
Yeah. Makes more sense.
I have decided I'm going to call Chucky. I'm going to call him Charles Entertainment Sleaze, though.
I've already joked about
that. No, damn you!
No, Chucky is definitely a sleazeball.
Well, I love him, though. Like, I have a lot of fondness.
I love you, Chucky. And by the way, I know you're listening to this. I know you listen to every episode.
You fucking creep. Where the fuck are you? Come on, show up. We have several things planned with you.
Or this weekend, I guess. Yesterday, he had to pick up a bed.
Oh.
So he'd rather do that than be on the podcast.
I miss him being dead and then rediscovering masturbation. That was the first excuse. Yeah. These excuses that are no longer excuses. That's just a fact. Like, that's far less interesting. You should have come up with something.
No, he just had to pick up a bed. But to be fair, he did say he would push it off and come do the podcast. I told him to take care of his life and get his shit together.
Yeah, dude.
Because we can always record.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
But not the weekend after. I won't fucking be here.
Oh, that's fine. We won't have an episode then.
Well, I mean, y'all can do an episode without me. Again, this is
True.
not my podcast.
Yeah. We probably will.
Yeah?
I don't even know what... We don't really have... We have some ideas of what we're going to do.
I know of like 3 or 4 different things that...
Yeah, because I
gonna
decided
happen.
that, like, you know, what you're listening to right now is going to be considered season 1. Season 1 is only going to be 20 episodes. I think that's a good place to stop because anybody coming into the podcast that's a new listener will have 20 episodes to go through. Because when I listen to a podcast, if I find like a new podcast to listen to and there's only 2 or 3 episodes, it's such a bummer for me because I like to binge listen.
Okay. You're looking
So
at me as if I'm supposed to
figure-
say
I
something.
figure that 20 episodes is good for season 1
Uh-huh.
because I could take a little bit of a hiatus because this, you know, the episodes that we've done, while some of them, there are definitely moments in them that I cherish
Mhm.
and adore
Yeah.
and I've gone back and listened to when I need to have a laugh.
Mm.
But like,
Shit I've said, huh?
yeah, everything you
Oh my God.
everything I've done, nothing
I
Chucky's
was
done.
joking.
And then some of the ones that haven't been released yet as,
Yeah.
as of recording this are
Dude.
very good.
Yeah,
But-
no, there's 3 at the time of recording that haven't been released yet.
Yeah. And I'm very much looking
Although one
forward
comes
to-
out tomorrow. I can say because we've, this will come out way after Dorahitoro comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
From when we are recording
Yeah,
this.
that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
Um,
We guys talked about anime.
But yeah, after 20 episodes, we're going to call that the end of season 1. We'll take a short hiatus. My plan is 3 months, no longer than 5.
Although that won't, Jesus Christ, that's a
Yeah.
long fucking time.
Well, I'm giving myself 3 months at least to just kind of
Well, to be
decompress
fair,
and come to
again-
the table with new ideas.
When we're recording this, it'll be a month and a half to 2 months before this even comes out.
Yeah.
So it won't be as much of a break for them.
No. And, you know, saying this now, they'll in the future, they'll know it's upcoming.
Mm.
But yeah, 20 episodes is good. I want to do like I like music. Music is something that if I had one thing to entertain me with for the rest of my life and I had to choose either television or music or podcast, it would probably be music because I like to draw and I like to listen to music when I draw. I like to listen to music at work. I love music. So I want to do episodes on music for sure.
Mhm.
Video games is another one we haven't tackled yet. I mean, you can't have a pop culture podcast and not talk about video games.
Right.
That would be absurd. But what are we talking about today?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just here.
So what
I've been
this
sitting
is,
here.
basically-
I've been thinking about how Easter has the best candy. So I don't know. What are we talking about?
Wait, the best candy?
Yeah, like out of the holiday candies, Easter has the best candy. And I'll fight you on that.
Based on what? It's all the same shit.
It is not the same shit, you asshole.
It's the difference
First
between
of all,
looking like Christmas trees or Easter eggs.
no,
That's it.
it's not the Reese's. Those are good. But no, there's things at Easter that you can't get any other fucking time of
Like
year.
what?
Like the little Cadbury, the little bird eggs, like the chocolate with the crispy shell. Those are delicious. I love those.
But I'm sure there's
the
a
lemon
Christmas-
Kit Kats.
There's a Christmas candy that you like more than those.
No,
There has to.
They're my favorite candy.
Peppermint chips.
those are good.
Yeah, you love those.
And the
things.
mellow cream pumpkins at Halloween. I am alone in my candy preferences. Like I like Peeps. I like
Ooh.
fucking black licorice. I like, all the basically if people hate it, I'm like, give me that shit.
I
I,
can't
don't
do
know.
Peeps. Again, Peeps is another one of those things
Yeah.
that used to be specific to Easter.
Well,
and then now you can get them
Dude, I fucking refuse to acknowledge it the rest of the year because that's no, fuck you. They haven't earned that. Christmas hasn't
Peeps
earned
are always going to be
earned
an
that
Easter
shit.
thing to
Yes.
me. Well, it doesn't matter if it looks like a bird or a Christmas tree. It's still Easter.
Well, do they make Christmas tree Peeps?
Yes. They
Well,
make Christmas
I-
trees. They make
I
pumpkins.
do not.
They probably make clovers for St. Patrick's Day, which is today.
Today.
Yeah.
I have green.
I do not.
Tattoos count. I'm gonna-
Well, no, I do have.
Nope,
green in my
that's
tattoo.
teal. Come here. Come
No,
here.
it's on the
Give me
back.
your fucking arm. Nope,
That is
that's
green
yellow. That is
itself.
yellow. Hold on.
No.
No, it's St. Patrick. Thank you for reminding me. There.
No! Ah, damn it!
There you
Go
go.
away. Stop pinching me.
No, you're not wearing green on St. Patrick's Day.
I have green in my tattoo.
That was yellow.
Anyways, what are we talking about today?
Oh, you know what? Fuck Easter candy. Let's talk about YouTube.
Okay, so Jessica and I recorded an episode together about YouTube, and just kind of like, because it is such a presence in our home, it's the number one source of entertainment we get.
It's true.
At least between the two of us, because we don't
agree on anything. So,
well, it's not that we don't agree on anything. It's just that, like,
see, we didn't even agree on that.
Television shows are so hit or miss for me.
Well, the problem is you like shit things, so you know.
And your choice in shows is terrible.
No, it's the best. It's clearly superior.
And because of that, like, we can't ever agree on anything,
right?
Because of my shitty taste and your shitty taste.
No,
they don't align.
My superior taste.
And by the way, I'm aware that I have shitty taste in shows. I just like bad movies and TV shows.
I know.
I do like good ones too, but trying to find a good new television series to watch is so hard to do these days, because it's just
it's almost like Western media is bullshit. And maybe you should look outside of America for good shows
that I'm just not aware of. And I do get recommendations from people that I know, and I give them a shot. Like right now I'm watching Yellow Jackets, and I actually really like this show.
I fucking hated that show.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like it
And the problem is, like, because I like several of the people in it, but how long did I watch it with you?
You watched the first,
like 3. 5. I know. I did not.
You didn't make it 5?
No fucking way. I want to say maybe 3 before I was like, the potential that's there and is not being explored is fucking infuriating, so I'm leaving.
But they are exploring things.
Yeah, I just don't fucking care.
And the writing is pretty clever here and there. Like
have fun.
There's a big red herring like twist at the end of season 1 that I was not expecting, and I thought I had it all figured out, and I didn't.
No, I just come in my office and watch One Piece with the kiddo and have a far better evening.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it sure is.
But yeah, just Western media is
garbage.
It's kind of garbage. Finding new things is really difficult to do. It's so hit or miss that, like, it's just easier for us to put on YouTube and find something there to watch, even if it's something new, because it's just like, that's 10 minutes of your time to find out that you don't like this channel, and you can just move on.
Oh, dude, I give a channel like 5 seconds. If their voice is obnoxious, or sometimes even the opening, if they have like an opening animatic, bye, goodbye. Nope, moving on.
Immediately.
I'm a lot more cutthroat with YouTube channels than I am with like shows, because like the rule of anime is you give it 3 episodes, right? And then after 3 episodes, you kind of decide whether or not you want to continue.
I guess.
I'm telling you, that's what it is. And that's just kind of the unwritten rule. Like, you give it 3 episodes, then see what you think.
Right.
YouTube? Nah, 5 seconds.
Exactly. We can get through it better or quicker. We can find things that we're interested in faster.
Yeah.
And then
I'd rather spend my time watching shit that I like rather than one of my most hated things, which is, okay, well, what do you want to watch?
I want to go eat.
No, fuck that. I don't care. I know it's like a girl, like, stereotypical response, but literally, you fucking decide. I don't care. I make every decision in this goddamn house. I don't want to decide that. Just pick something for me. It won't be right. Like, I need to have that, like, on the record. Whatever you pick won't be correct.
Oh, I know. I know.
But you still gotta try.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
So we're doing a follow-up to the previous episode that we did, because there were a lot of things we just didn't cover.
Dude, I swear to God, the second we stopped recording, we were like, oh, fuck, we didn't talk about this. Oh, well, what about that? God damn it.
Right.
And then I feel bad. Like, oh, because, you know, every creator that we talk about is definitely listening to this, right? So,
oh, sure.
You know, I felt bad that, like, I neglected to mention this or this or this that, like, I watch all the time.
No, I was...
Sorry, guys.
I was at work thinking about this because we had talked about doing this follow-up, and then I was like, what's the internet going to say about this? I'm like, here we go. It's going to be, oh, okay, episode 8, and they're already out of ideas, so they're going back to YouTube.
I don't fucking care what anybody thinks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me either, but, you know, I just had a thought about, like, what people are going to say, and then, like, you know, in the comments sections or whatever, there's going to be, like, references to this being the shitty little podcast. And
oh, that's funny. Know, right? Dude, we should own that.
Right I'm claiming it. There you go.
This is the shitty.
Roll with it. I don't care.
This is the little.
Yeah, right. Hey, you know what?
Dude, that's merch. I like that.
If enough people like that, I'll change the logo.
No, don't. You can't have curse. You keep trying to put fucking curse words in the title of podcast episodes. You can't fucking do it. It'll get delisted from directories. I'm telling you, you can't change the name of the podcast, the shitty little podcast. You can, however, make an alternative logo and put it on like stickers and merch where you like cross out the pretty and write shitty on it.
Yeah.
You could do that.
Well, then I even thought about like
it's
for an April Fool's joke, just making that the thumbnail for like an April 1st episode.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could.
Which is coming up.
I know.
Get on it.
Yeah, it's real soon.
Man,
It's 2 weeks away from the time of recording.
it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
Maybe next year.
Well, you
We'll
could
see.
you could do a logo and just change your profile picture to it for a second.
Yeah, I might do that. But anyways, so we're doing a follow-up to YouTube, mainly because, I went back and listened to that episode, and while we covered a lot of things in it that we watch on a daily basis, there were a few channels that we missed that I feel like I'd be doing them a disservice if I didn't talk about them.
And the YouTube being what it is, I now have entirely different sets of channels I watch now than when we recorded like just
Yes,
a
we
few
have
months
discovered a few
ago.
more channels since the last
Like we've
episode.
pretty much run through Beard Meets Food, right? So like we'll watch his new video when it comes up, but we're not really binging that shit anymore. Like, it's
we're constantly looking for bingeable material.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, there were a few more channels like, Jess selected some, I selected some. We came up with way more than I thought
I just
we
need
would.
to tell you, I am so proud of you. You wrote down things for
I
this
did,
podcast.
and it's in alphabetical order.
That just meant you scrolled through our subscriptions and
did.
wrote them down as you go. I'm on to you. No, because some of mine are in alphabetical order because I did the ones that I could think of and then I did the same thing. Scrolled through. Nah.
But there were just some more channels that we wanted to talk about. And these are probably going to mostly be things that we watch separate from each other because we do spend a lot of time in different rooms of the house. And
I legit do believe that's the secret to a successful marriage is having ample time apart. Like I get that, some people would think, oh my God, that sounds bad. They don't even like spending time together. No. We spend a lot of time apart. So we do enjoy spending time together.
Yes.
That's
Part
what
of
it is.
Spending time together is spending time apart.
I love it when you're not here.
I know, right?
It's fucking
Where I
great.
can just do what I want anytime I want to.
But then
I don't
you
have
know
to worry
what?
about
Like
you
we
being there.
we experience different things, and then we come back and we have something to talk about.
Yeah.
What an idea!
If we come together at the podcast table,
Here
and
we are.
discuss those things.
All right, you know what? Let's
We're gonna try to
discuss some
monetize
things.
that.
Oh yeah, no, I monetize every relationship I have if I possibly can.
Sure, why not? So, would you like to go first? Since
No.
you're the special guest.
No, you're the host. This is your podcast.
Okay.
Pick a channel. And
So
let's discuss
are
it.
we just gonna run down the list here? Or are we going
No.
to try to group these things together?
No, this time is
Some
just
of
a
these
fucking
channels are
free for all. And I think that you have some on your list that I have on mine too.
Yeah, there might be some overlap. I tried to pick things that weren't on your list, but I may have.
Whatever. It's not a big deal.
Well, let's talk about like movie reviewers.
So you are grouping them. I just said it was a free for all.
group
All
them?
right, that's your podcast. Movie reviewers. Jesus Christ. The fuck is the point in asking my opinion? This is what it's like.
I've got Brandon Tenold on mine.
Oh,
We
I
didn't-
like him.
We didn't speak about him on the last episode.
He's
so-
Canadian.
Yeah, Brandon Tenold. He's kind of a cocky asshole.
I like him
Yeah,
though. I really like his vibe. He doesn't come across as cocky. He comes across as condescending.
Condescending, I guess, is a better term.
But there's not a lot of ego there. It's more just like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
this?
because much like your
And he's
fanboy
funny.
flicks, the
Yeah.
weird movies with Mark, he's not picking award-winning movies to cover here. This is all just
For the most part, yeah.
these are dumpster-worthy movies.
Yeah, he's
reviewing.
another channel that does the older, more obscure movies for the most part.
With
He's
the
also done all of
exception
Godzilla.
Godzilla,
Yeah. Which,
because he covers Godzilla movies.
yeah.
But while he is making fun of them, it's clear that he has a love
Well,
for
it's from a
Godzilla
place
movies.
of love, yeah.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Godzilla movies, you kind of have to rip on them now and then because they're not great. They're just fun.
Some. Although one is now Oscar winning.
That's true. Yeah. But
And
you
you're
know,
a big Godzilla fan. I bought you that big fucking whatever that is.
Yeah,
that
the Criterion Collection.
I don't know. I know it was
Showa-era.
big and expensive. That's what I know.
Yeah, that thing is like, what is it, like the first 17 movies or something?
I think it's 20. I don't know.
Anyways, it's a lot of movies. It's a lot of Godzilla. But yes, I am a fan of Godzilla, and part of liking Godzilla or being part of that fandom is the fact that these movies, especially the Showa era, you know, that from the 50s through the 60s, it was clear that they were gearing them towards children. You know, they wanted that audience. They wanted the child audience. So there's a lot of annoying baby characters. There's a lot of
what does he call it? It's not Timmy. Huh? Every child in Kenny. That's what. Yeah, Brandon Tenold.
Every time there's a movie that this Brandon Tenold guy reviews, anytime there's an annoying little kid in it, and there's a lot in the movies he reviews, he refers to them as Kenny.
I think that there was one though the kid actually was named Kenny, and he was so obnoxious he became like the template, like moving
Kenny
forward.
Zero.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But he does more than just Godzilla too. Like he's the only person I've ever seen review one of the more obscure movies from my childhood that I definitely shouldn't have been watching when I was, which is Wizards, that Ralph Bakshi movie.
The animated film.
Yeah. I was like 8.
Yeah, that one was a little more adult than.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I mean Eleanor basically has no clothes on for the most part, but it's fine, and a lot of Nazi propaganda. But I love, to this day, I love that movie. It's fucking great. It's creepy. But I don't know. He finds things that people don't talk about, really, for the most part. And yeah, I don't know. He's good.
So Brandon Tenold, check him out. He's been around for a while now.
Yeah.
There's plenty of stuff. And
I really like his ending song. It's funky.
Yeah, it's his band. I believe it did that.
Really?
Yeah, he's like a bass player in a band.
Oh, well, that's why it's so bass forward then.
Yeah.
Because
I'm pretty sure that was like one of their songs.
Interesting.
Huh. So check out Brandon Tenold. Another one on my list that I had, it isn't really a movie review channel, but it's in that same vein, is Ryan George.
Oh, the pitch meeting guy.
Yeah, so he does... Primarily, he does 2 things. One of them's called pitch meeting.
Yeah.
Where he plays, the guy pitching
the movie,
a ridiculous movie,
and
the
executive producer
that's hearing the pitch.
Yeah.
And he plays both roles, and they switch back and forth.
Yeah.
And the other aspect of this is he'll do like little skits where it's like the first guy who did this.
Yeah.
Where it's like the first guy who domesticated a house cat, or the first guy that decided to ride a horse.
Because we found him on Screen Rant. He works for Screen Rant. Yeah. Or he used to. I don't know if he still does. But a lot of those pitch meetings. And the pitch meetings are good because it doesn't matter whether you've seen the movie or not. Like if you've seen the movie, fucking hilarious. But if you haven't, because it's another channel that I use. Like, I don't know what, especially like the newer Marvel movies. And I haven't seen a Marvel movie in years. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, me either.
But he goes over, he does more popular movies, Western media movies that all the way, money. Yeah.
And then he plays the guy pitching it as if it's this great, amazing film that's being made.
Yeah, and sometimes
the executive that's listening to it is just a gullible dumbass.
Yeah, yeah.
But he questions
and
it.
He does. And it's like, I don't know. So he does a really good job of pointing out all the massive fuck ups and plot holes and nonsensical bullshit in these modern movies.
Yes, and just in a funny
way. Yeah, and I mean, there's little catchphrases, that end up in every video. Yeah. What? Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, how are they going to get out of that one? Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, it's really good.
And then he'll explain that they could just do that.
Yeah. Yes.
And they'll be like, why? And he'll be like, because they can.
Because they can.
And then they do.
I love money.
Yeah. Don't you like money? Well, yeah, I love money. Yeah. Anyways, check that out because, and again, that's Ryan George.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's good. He's fun. We binged his stuff a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same vein, not really because these aren't movies. There's a channel that I watch occasionally. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of this channel, but I do catch it occasionally, and that's Andymation.
Oh.
So this guy grew
I
up.
don't watch this one.
He
Is that the flip book guy?
yes.
Oh, okay.
He is definitely into making flip books. He does like time lapses where he's drawing the pictures and all that. He's had a passion for this since he was like, 6 years old or whatever. And he's saved all of his flip books that he's made growing up. And sometimes he'll remake them. So he'll show you the one he did when he was like 7 years old. And then he'll go back and remake it today. And it, obviously is far
Which is
more
super
impressive.
cool. Like, see the progression and all of that stuff.
Yeah. And then he shows you like, he'll go in and remove some of the pages and be like, okay, this is what it looks like 60 frames per second. This is what it would look like, 30 frames per second. And how that really matters to the quality of, the animation you're looking at. I just wanted to bring him up because I do occasionally watch that. And it is kind of entertaining. I don't have any passion to do flip books. I've never thought about flip books.
Well, yeah, but how
anyway.
many of the channels of, crafting or creative shit that, we watch, like, we don't actually have any interest in pursuing
again,
ourselves?
Like, as long as you are passionate about this and you can sell this thing to me, I'll watch it. I'll give you views. I don't have a problem with that. But you got to be interested in what you're doing. You can't be a try hard and get my attention.
You have to earn my attention.
Yeah.
No, I know.
I
know.
All right, so let's move on to you. What do you have?
Oh, are you done? Or are you
I'm
just
done with
flipping
like
over to me for a while?
Movie related stuff. If you want to.
Do I have any movie related shit? Well, CZ's World. He tends to do and that's the letter C and then Z. CZ's World. I was watching a bunch of I've watched his stuff off and on for a while. He does some franchises that I don't really care about, like Saw and stuff like that. But he does deep dives. His shit's all horror. So he's done a lot of videos on like various Stephen King franchises and films. And I watched all of his stuff about Chucky and, all like these big horror movie franchises. He delves into the history of each character.
Yeah, he delves into the lore.
Yeah. It's lore. I love lore, man.
It's very labor intensive as far as,
yeah.
Just the amount of research that he does for this. And like,
and just like random people who, like a while ago, I was watching his series on It, which I grew up reading the book.
Right.
So, he delves in, if there is a book or whatever, like source, he'll go through and he'll pull out about Patrick Hockstetter, who's like one of Henry Bowers' like lackeys. Henry Bowers is like the lead bully guy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And, every single thing, like from the book, and he'll piece all of these different sources together to create like a character profile of this person. And he does it really well. He has a really unique kind of voice and yeah.
His voice isn't annoying. He's very well spoken.
Yeah.
Everything is concise, well thought out.
He has a good storytelling voice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to describe it other than, and he's kind of, he gets intense with the way he says things, but it's not like oh God, what were we watching? Oh, I won't mention the channel because it's not very nice. But we were watching that one guy making the figures the other day, and he would put little bits of lore in between, and he was like, "So I'm gonna be using this kind of clay to build his arm," and then after he died, he did that, and I was like, "Oh my God,
what?" Is because literally
I do, but I'm not gonna say
2 days ago.
Because he's showed up and recommended a lot, and the thing is, like, the characters he was creating were super fucking cool, right? And I'm interested in that world, but. I was just
his thing, again, I wish I knew the name of the channel, but
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to out him.
Clay figures,
that
are they're his own creations,
right?
That he creates the lore of,
yes.
But he creates them as if they would fit into the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, kind of. It's more corpse bridey to me, but it's also very much its own thing. It's kind of Hollow Knight.
A Tim Burton.
Well, kind of. I would definitely say a Tim Burton inspired situation. But definitely its own world with its own lore and all of this stuff. And, he's an excellent sculptor. Like, the way he creates the figures and everything's fucking amazing. It's literally just the tonal shift between the crafting, because there's not any kind of segue or music cue or anything. He literally will just be like, all right, so the armature for this is going to go at a 45-degree angle, and the mask stays on his face for when he became a spirit here. And I was like, dude,
like,
come on.
Poetic and gothy.
Which
but then you look at
the
it,
language
he just
is
looks like a jock.
He does. You know, the wording itself, the prose that he creates is perfectly fine, but I feel like he over dramatizes to the point where I'm like left going, I don't know if I want to watch this. It's time. I don't want to make fun of him, so I'm not going to tell you the channel name, but yeah, no, that CZ's World doesn't do that. He has an excellent like relaying of information
It's
in an interesting, clearly scripted but thought out way.
Yeah, it's far more thought out.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else we got?
I don't know about movies, man.
It doesn't have to be movies. We can move on to another topic, or just
Ooh, I'm sleepy today.
What's the top thing on your list?
Nuxanor.
Okay, so why don't we explain?
Nux Taku, my favorite VTuber, and that by itself is controversial. Man is always getting canceled on Twitter for this or the other. He is, for people who aren't familiar with VTubers, or who are and just don't know of him, I don't know how he's got over 2 million subscribers. But he's an independent. He's not associated with VShojo or Nijisanji or Hololive or any of like the big VTuber companies. He built his own fucking following. He is often demonetized. He's often really filthy.
He's got some hot takes.
I love it, but he's the most sarcastic person I may have ever seen.
If you love sarcasm,
and I love sarcasm,
watch this guy.
But holy shit,
yeah.
he fucking kills me.
He'll just say it.
Yeah, he will. He does not care. And
he'll say what you're thinking.
Or some shit you're not. And I'm just like, whoa. But he's endlessly entertaining. He's also a huge anime nerd, which of course, you know,
yeah.
I like. That's how
Avatar alone tells you that he's an anime nerd.
Well, yeah. It's based off of several different
people. Can you be a
people.
VTuber without being an anime nerd?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Wait, what are you going to talk about?
Most of them play games.
But most people who play games are anime nerds.
That's not true. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, the crossover there is, you got to admit, is high.
But not all people who play games like
Venn
anime.
diagram has a lot of similarities.
You play video games and you don't give a shit about
I
anime.
watch anime.
When?
We did a whole episode on Dora Hedora.
Oh, I'm sorry. An anime. You're right. You've seen like
there's
6.
like 10.
Oh.
I mean, when I was a kid, anime was like.
No, I know.
It was hard to be an anime.
No,
fan
but you don't keep. No, anyways, we're getting off topic. It doesn't fucking matter about VTubers. The point, I just bring it up because Nux is a VTuber. So no one knows his real name or what he looks like.
I just figured if you weren't talking about anime or video games, then no one's going to watch you as a VTuber.
Why?
Because I thought that was their whole thing.
Well, no, a lot of it is video games, but that doesn't mean it's anime. Just because they have anime inspired models doesn't mean anything.
Every time I've walked in the room and you're watching a VTuber, they're either doing something.
I literally watch Nux. I'm not big into VTubers overall.
Maybe it's our kiddo.
Yeah. Yeah, but and I'm not even getting into all of the drama because that's the other thing that Nux talks about. He talks about a lot of anime. He has a whole series he did a few years ago on biggest flexes in anime. Fucking amazing. So good.
And he's also good at like if there's a controversy surrounding YouTubers.
Oh yeah,
he's good at finding.
No, he's one of the drama channels. Like he loves the drama. He is a gremlin. Like he is a little chaos gremlin who just watches the world burn and goes, yes,
and laughs at it.
Yeah. This is delicious. And
but like I don't
love
have
that
to
shit.
keep up with the
no
minutia of the YouTuber.
Oh no,
like,
dude! I guarantee you, between Turkey Tom and Nux, like I've got the fucking drama covered. They just make the videos, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's fucking amazing. He's probably my current favorite YouTube channel at the moment. Because yeah, I do watch a lot of anime, so I like those videos. The way he goes through the drama. I really like too. And I really appreciate that his sense of humor is perfect. Like for me, it's super offensive to a lot of people,
yes.
But ultimately he has a lot of common sense, right?
And a lot of energy.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Tons of energy.
Yes.
This guy's very energetic.
Yeah, no, he is. He's just bouncing around all the time. But no, he says things that I think need to be said sometimes. He'll say a bunch of shit just for the controversy to try and get canceled because he thinks a lot of people on Twitter are overly sensitive and ridiculous, and I fucking agree.
They are.
But at the end of the day, if you're intelligent at all, you can tell what's a fucking joke. You can tell what isn't. And he genuinely seems like a very awesome person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So take that for what you will. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't like sarcastic humor, don't bother.
He is
100%.
he's not for everybody. And I get that, but he's absolutely for me. Like his sense of humor is like fucking great.
And I didn't know what to think of it at first because you started watching that before I did.
Oh, yeah.
You showed it to me, and the first couple episodes I watched, I was just like, okay, whatever. And then I started just being like, I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah.
I
I came in the bedroom one day and you were watching Nux like independently of me, and I was I've got it.
I like having things on in the background while I'm drawing on my iPad.
Right. Oh.
And he's perfect for that.
I don't know if the microphone is picking up the mew. We have a half bobcat, who we call the Mew, and she's
saying hello.
Yeah. If y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear her or not, but she came up and she's sitting next to me. She's a talkative bee, so
yeah, you might hear her.
But if you hear me just being like Mew, because we have a cat who is 25 pounds of ridiculousness. Don't bite me, you butthole. Anyways, Nux is great.
Yeah, go check him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we can do my next one.
Okay.
Ashens.
Oh, jeez. The brown couch. We've been watching Ashens for like a decade.
Huge disclaimer here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I'm still watching Ashens. I don't know why, because
I gotta tell you, I stopped watching like 6 years ago.
Channel is like nothing I care about.
He's still eating. Isn't he just still eating like shitty canned food and stuff?
Yeah. So years ago, I'm talking like back in 2013, 14.
Oh, dude, we've been watching.
You and
we've been
I
subscribed
had
for a
a
long time.
subscription to Loot Crate.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I started.
That was like
watching,
2014. That's
when I started watching this guy, because his thing back then was he subscribed to all these like.
Oh shit, you're right. All the subscription boxes.
The subscription boxes
when that was
come
big.
to your house with just nerd and geek shit in it.
Yeah.
He was subscribing to all of them.
Yeah, and we watched his unboxing videos.
Yeah, he would do unboxings.
Yeah,
and we would watch those. We had Loot Crate too, so it was kind of like to see what other people are saying about this stuff, because I was not impressed, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Loot Crate was just.
It was like
it was a good
the
concept.
shit, right? Like everybody was talking about it. Everybody was getting it. But did anyone actually like any of the stuff that was in there? Because for the most part, I didn't.
Still to this day, there was a mouse pad that I use at work that came in one of those things, and that's it. Like I don't have any of the T-shirts anymore.
My makeup bag is a bag that we got in a Loot Crate that blue kind of computer chip looking.
It was like modeled after Tron.
Yeah, something like that. I know it was in the same box that we got the Voltron shirt in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started watching this channel. It's called Ashens. He was doing Loot Crate reviews, all these subscription box reviews. And then when that fad kind of died out, he moved on to reviewing just like ridiculous,
like a whole
figures
chicken and a ham in a can.
Or people are sending him like canned meats and stuff,
canned burgers,
and we're talking like way expired.
What was that cake? That was
50s.
Like there was a cake from like 2002. Was it Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, there was a Spider-Man cake that somebody had sent him that was just like rancid.
It had been in a freezer for 20 years, and yeah,
it was from the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
and he reviewed that,
But yeah, no, he does the weird, stupid, like really cheap little action figures, and but his couch is iconic, right? He has new furniture. Like when he started his YouTube channel, that brown couch was his couch, but
so what you're looking at watching him.
His hands and a couch.
Hands and a brown couch.
Yeah.
Whatever he's reviewing, he'll put on the couch. He'll open it with his
He's
hand.
a British guy.
He does commentary over it. He does have his moments. He's British.
So no, he can be fucking funny.
It's very dry, but
which again, I like dry, sarcastic humor.
Yeah.
But
And then like he'll do like a Valentine's special, or
He does
a
the
New Year's
advent
special,
calendar every
the
year that you
advent
watch
calendars, where he'll go to
with his friend.
We have dollar stores here. Over there, they have what's called
Poundland. Yeah.
which still sounds terrible, but
Heyo.
whatever.
He loves going to Poundland.
He can't wait to
But
go to
I mean,
Poundland.
who doesn't?
So he'll go to Poundland and he'll get like Easter decorations that they have there that are just cheap and bad, and he'll just do a review on that. So it's niche. It's very niche. And again, it's another one of those things I can just put on in the background and not really
Dude, at
give a
this
shit
point,
about.
I feel like he's nostalgic. Like, that's like
Yeah,
a different era of YouTube, but he's still there and he's still doing stuff.
And he's apparently done 3 movies based on this character of Ashens.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know how. I've never seen them, but
Is that not his name?
yeah, his name's Ashens.
His name is Stuart
Well, it's Stuart
Ashens.
Ashen.
Oh, Ashen.
Yes,
Oh,
he goes
okay.
by Ashens. That's his
Okay.
nickname.
Cool.
But yeah, that's what you're getting with that. You're just seeing a pair of hands on a couch review terrible products that no one cares about. Go watch it. It's fun.
Oh, so there's a channel that is saying after we stopped recording the last one, we were like, fuck, how do we forget him? And that is Wavy Web Surf.
Yeah. Wavy Web Surf is really
Your boy.
good. Your boy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keeps work for him.
It keeps work for him. Your boy is looking fly.
He is very fly.
Wavy Web Surf is a channel and he's one that, again, and he's on camera, like you see his face, but his name not on the fucking
You
internet.
can't find this guy. Who he is.
Someone knows him. Someone went to high school with him. Do not fucking dox him. I'm saying this out of admiration.
Yeah, 'cause
right?
we were like, I wonder what his name is. We were trying to guess.
I was trying to figure out how old he was and
Yeah.
like where he's from,
And then we tried looking it up and we're like, this guy has
He's not here. No footprint.
Nothing.
What the fuck? And he's old enough where he was in high school while the internet, was a thing. Like,
yeah.
what?
For sure.
But,
I'd say he's probably late 20s, early 30s. maybe.
Probably. Yeah.
31 at most.
But no, he does more long form, usually like a couple of hours, hour and a half, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Long form, usually like more compilation style. He'll pick a subject and then have multiple little stories that
Right.
relate to that.
And it's usually, in fact, I think it's always related to the internet.
In one way or another, yeah. There was like one of the videos I like is about the times that 4chan did good.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Anything from helping that like 90-year-old guy have a great birthday party to tracking down that one YouTuber who was killing cats on TV or on
Sad
channel.
Pawpaw.
Oh, sad pawpaw. Yeah, so like
He does deep dives and explores memes too.
yeah.
Like online memes why they're memes, right? Like this is why this became a meme.
Yeah.
And
Bad luck, Brian.
He'll do
like
long
all of
form
this.
deep dive into that and explain it to you, and then he'll move on to like another video that's related to that. He did one time that was like the worst criminals of YouTube.
Yeah.
So YouTubers who went out and like robbed banks or
murdered
somebody.
Yeah.
Or, things of that nature. So yeah, he's very good too. Like again, for a younger guy, like he's able to keep you engaged, and his editing is very good.
Yeah. Whoever his editor is amazing.
'Cause that makes or breaks it for me.
Oh, for sure. Well, and his set is very distinctive too. Like his look, his set, all of that shit. Because he's got like the paisley
got
background with lava lamps and
It's a very hippie vibe.
he always wears a Hawaiian
but he
shirt.
doesn't look like a hippie at all.
No, and he doesn't talk like
He's got some
one.
lava lamps and then like a tapestry
Yeah.
behind him.
I think he used to be in an attic because there was a definite slant.
Yeah.
But no, he's another one that is great to have on. Like if you're, and this sounds bad, but I don't mean it this way. Like if you're gonna like take a nap or do something else and just kind of half listen, he's great at relaying
He's getting
stories.
reviews either way. I'm sure he doesn't.
Oh,
care.
well, I don't mean to say that like, oh hell yeah, I go to sleep so fast with this guy's videos, because that's not what it is.
No, you can you can watch it and pay attention to it and get a lot out of it, or you can just take a nap while
Yeah.
you're watching it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those very chill channels.
Yeah, and he's another one who his research is off the charts. Like the shit he finds out, and he's really good at putting it together in a very digestible format.
Mhm.
And I like that the videos are longer. like we do kind of have to schedule because, for instance, I know he has a new one that came out a couple of days ago, but we only have so much time together in the evenings on weekdays, especially on fucking Tuesday and Wednesday, because you're watching Yellow Jackets now, which is dumb. But I'm glad you're liking it. But you do have to kind of arrange a time to watch a Wavy Web Surf video.
Yeah. And it varies so much too, because one of them will be like 19 minutes long, and then there's another one that's 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's not consistent.
I like that though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what this podcast is. We're not keeping ourselves at any kind of time constraint. We just talk until we're done.
I do on my other podcast.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't my podcast though. So,
but, yeah, go check out Wavy Web Surf.
Yeah.
He's a very likable dude.
He is.
And he's doing good work.
Seems very approachable.
Yeah, and you're going to learn
and
something.
And he has all his hair, thanks to Keeps.
Yeah, Keeps. It did it, man.
It did it for your boy.
It's all about Keeps. All right, moving on to the next one. Babish.
Binging with Babish. He's great. I don't watch him as much as I used to, but I've made some of his like recipes and shit like that.
This is another channel we watch that's basically just hands doing stuff.
I like hands doing stuff though. and I like Nux. No one knows what the fuck he actually looks like. He's never done a face reveal. You know, that's part of what I like about YouTube is the potential. Well, I mean, the potential
especially
for relative anonymity, but it doesn't hurt.
If you're one of those people online that just stirs up shit, it's probably best that you keep your face private.
I don't know. I think Nux is a good person. But anyways.
So
the fuck we talk Babish.
This is a cooking show.
It's a cooking channel. Yeah, he's built a whole fucking empire now though.
Yeah, because doesn't he has like kitchen tools.
Oh yeah, man. He sells everything. And there's different series on the channel now too. Because bringing it back to anime, Alvin has a whole series of where they'll make, food from different anime and shit like that. And it's super cool.
And Babish's thing is he'll take like a ridiculous food item from like Rick and Morty and he'll try to recreate it in real life.
And then make it better. Like try and do it as perfect from the source material, like as true to it as possible.
Yes.
And then you go, okay.
Now
that was awful.
Here's what I would do.
Here's what I would do.
And make it better.
Yeah. No, he's another one with a really good voice. His voice is very pleasant to listen to.
It's very nice and chill.
Mm-hmm. And his kitchen set always looks so clean and nice. Ugh.
That helps too, for sure. There's not clutter everywhere. Again, the editing on that is very well done.
It's very clean. It's just very like sharp and nice.
And you're also going to learn something about cooking.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a cooking channel. You're getting information on how to make dishes, but he presents it in a way that is related to pop culture, which I like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fucking genius idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah. It's fucking genius.
All right. What about you? What do you have next?
I don't have anything in any particular order.
It doesn't matter.
Well, we can talk about a couple that I saw that were on yours. Defunct Land.
Defunct Land.
Yeah, you have that one.
So Defunct
Land.
Land. This is a guy that he does deep dive. And again, it's a deep dive.
Well,
Long-form deep dive.
Well, I mean, if there's a common thread through a lot of what we do, it's either or what we watch. It's either people enjoying and creating something, or us learning something.
Yeah.
In one way or another. Yeah.
And for me, especially like the history of pop culture, that's going to always be a win for me. And that's what Defunct Land is. This guy reviews like different theme parks.
Or like old Disney rides that used to be there that aren't anymore and what the fuck happened.
And why they were taken away or, why this place doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
The rise and fall of its popularity.
Yeah.
Some of these things were big back in the 70s and 80s,
right?
And they're just not around today. And some of the time, they're even still there. They're just abandoned.
Yeah.
And you can get a look into like what it looks like now, and it's just haunted.
But,
and he did one. Was it him? I think it was him. It might have been Yesterworld. But one of them did.
Yesterworld's another.
Yeah, Yesterworld Entertainment is another channel that is in this exact same vein where they'll go over, different rides and things that have been demolished for one reason or another. But one of them did the Disney Fast Pass
I think
and why it's bullshit.
shit. I don't know, because the trouble with these channels and the YouTube algorithm is that if you just let it play, it'll switch back and forth between those two channels a lot.
Yes.
So I don't
whether it was
know.
Defunct Land or Yesterworld Entertainment, one of them did a long form essay. And when I say long form, this video is like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So if you don't give a shit about Disney Fast Pass, don't listen to this. But it is very interesting.
I watched it.
As to how it manipulates people into thinking that paying this amount of money is actually beneficial to them, and it isn't.
I watched it and I didn't give a shit about the Fast Pass, but that's the thing about like Defunct Land. On paper, if you were like, hey, you want to learn about the history of this old ride, I'd be like, no.
But that video in
But
particular,
it's
they
super
broke
interesting.
down the mathematics of it.
Yeah.
Like they had like schematics and charts and everything proving to you that this thing is bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know, again, I don't really care about theme parks one way or another. But
I want someone to go to a theme park with me who likes roller coasters.
I'll go to a theme park.
You don't like roller coasters.
I don't know
Our
if that's-
child doesn't like roller coasters. I am all alone.
I'll go on a roller coaster of your choice. How
I'll
about that?
take the mute. No, because it would be miserable for you, and I don't want that.
I'd be with you.
Yeah, you'd be miserable.
That'd give me some kind of
No, that
Good time, I guess.
would not be good. And there's nothing wrong with not liking them. I just really fucking do, and no one else does. I just want fun. Anyways, Fast Pass is garbage.
No fun for you.
No.
Not while I'm alive.
It's so true.
All right, so yeah, Defunct Land, Yesterworld, they're very similar. In fact, I think they've even crossed over. Like
Probably.
they've done episodes together.
Probably.
And a lot of these things, like I started watching one of them first, and then I like to go into their subscriptions. Because if you like a channel and you go to their subscriptions, you're going to find channels that are similar. And I think that's exactly how I found Yesterworld was through Defunct Land.
Which one is it, or is it another channel altogether that goes into like all the abandoned malls and shit like that? Because you went
That
through a
was called
period
The
where
Proper People.
okay,
I don't know why it's called The
No.
Proper People. Yes, it is.
is it?
Yes, it's two
I
guys.
thought that was the guys that went into like the old like asylums and shit like that.
They do that too.
That they also
Yes,
did the
they go
old
into
malls.
Dead malls. They go
Oh,
into
okay.
like
Because you went through a
abandoned
whole dead mall
properties.
phase for a while, where
Yeah,
it was
dead
like,
malls
"This
were
is
very,
interesting to
very
you," and you're like,
interesting
"This
to me
is
for a while.
fascinating." I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause I mean,
okay.
I grew
But you
up
like
going
the
to
whole
malls.
like, so did I. You like that liminal space stuff and back rooms
Yeah.
and stuff, and all of that to me is not scary.
Dude, if I could just put a bed in a liminal space, I would go right to sleep.
That's exactly it. I would too. And people are like, "Oh my god, it's terrifying." I'm like, "Dude, give me the fucking back rooms. I'll just curl up in a
Yeah.
corner and take a fucking nap. It all looks very calming. I'm
Yes,
fine."
Extremely calming. But yeah, that channel was called Proper People, and
Because I remember that video where they went into that one asylum that I watched with you, and like one of them almost fell through the floor. Like they're smart. They try and be very careful.
yeah, and full disclosure
Going
on this
through.
too. Like if they got caught, they're
Oh
looking at
no,
serious
it's
jail
very
time for
very
something.
illegal. But
You should not be doing what they're doing.
don't do it. But the content's super interesting.
Yeah, like when they go into the mental hospital.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like you could see
That
like
have been left to rot.
basically the fucking torture devices they were using on people. Like all
Yeah.
the instruments are still there. You
Mhm.
open the cabinets and these things, and it's still full of like chemicals and like different like tools and shit that they used to because
Yeah.
they just thought, oh well, beating the shit out of this person is going to pull them out of their mental state, and it maybe we should electrocute them. Here's a chair.
What do you
for
mean that doesn't work?
No,
Oh,
not at all.
well,
It makes it way worse. Actually,
no way.
yeah, definitely. But anyways, yeah, that's if you like dead malls and just abandoned properties and people exploring those, The Proper People is a good one for that. I don't really watch them anymore. I don't think I've watched one of the videos in at least 4 months or so.
No, we were talking about Defunct Land and like old, abandoned shit, and that made me think of
Mhm.
that other one. So I'm glad you remember the channel name, because that wasn't anything I ever put on. I would just kind of join you in your watching. So I didn't know.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Let's see. Let's get away from long form essays for a bit, because I still have some other channels that do that. How about Dancing Bacons?
Dancing Bacon.
We both enjoy Dancing Bacons.
Dancing Bacon.
I really only watch it with you.
Yeah, I don't watch this with anybody else either.
No.
So
It's adorable.
it is pretty adorable. This is I think it's
I assume a married couple.
married
I
couple.
don't know. It's a guy and a girl.
yes,
A man and a woman. They go to places, different theme parks. They're in like Japan, but not just Japan. They go all over like Asia, especially like Japan and Southeast Asia and whatnot. And they go to different theme parks or little restaurants or whatever, and they try the food.
They'll go to gas stations.
Yeah,
they'll go to
all
vending
kinds of places.
machines. It's not really a review channel.
No,
'cause-
the review is always the same.
Yes, the
she
review
takes
is-
a bite. She has the cutest, like almost kind of like chipmunk face. Like she has this little happy face she does
Yes.
when she likes the
There's
food.
no dialogue in this at all.
No.
It's just text on the screen.
Yeah.
Of her reviewing this candy
Yeah,
that
well,
she
it's
found
like
at
it's like
7-Eleven in China.
he'll say, you know, in text what he does, because again they don't really speak. It'll say what the food is and where they are, and sometimes how much it is, depends.
Yeah,
and
they'll show
then-
it in like in yen and then US dollars.
Yeah.
How much these things cost.
Yeah, and then she'll try some, and she always likes it. So she always, you know, she's very happy, and she'll like nod and be like,
Yeah,
"Mhm."
she is way too positive to be a like reviewer on
It's
YouTube.
adorable. It's such a light little fun, like.
Yeah,
Compared to
it's-
some of the other channels I have on this list and, you know, all the really dark content I consume, Dancing Bacons, first of all, it's the perfect name for their channel.
yeah.
It's such a little just kind of the world is nice when
Yeah,
you're watching
sometimes it's
Dancing
pretty nice,
Bacons.
and, you know, not everybody out there is an asshole.
No.
and not everybody hates everything.
And you know, they've been to Tokyo Disney, they've been to all different kinds of little
they
places
went to
and
Super Mario World
yeah.
and ate everything on the menu.
And yeah, they just go
And loved it all.
all over Japan, different countries in Asia, and try different kinds of little foods. And they do some kind of. He will also do videos without her of like little kits and candy and stuff like that, and it'll just be text on the screen, you know, like little. I don't know. There's a lot of candy in Japan and whatnot where you like put it together and make the
Yeah.
candy and stuff
Yes,
like
it's
that.
like an experience versus
There was that one pudding shaped like a butt. I don't know what that was, but he
Yeah.
thought it was funny and made it jiggle. You know, and that one took a lot of work though. It was like a milk pudding you had to set up in the fridge.
Mhm.
But no, it is just a nice little, and the videos aren't ever super super long.
No, they're usually about 11 minutes or so. Some are shorter than that. But yeah, Dancing Bacons. That's another one of those channels you could put on and then just take a nap.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fun. I like Dancing Bacons.
So from Dancing Bacons,
Yeah.
which is Sunshine and Glitter,
Yeah.
we're going to move on to Blind Dweller.
Oh, okay.
Blind Dweller is a channel. I'm not sure how much of you have seen.
I've seen it.
This guy, he typically does art reviews.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of it. This is more a
It's
you
usually
thing.
going to be like turn of the century artwork that is like morbid in some kind of way. Now he has done more modern stuff, but it's usually going to be surrealistic. It's usually going to be very fucked up and dark. And these are not the well-known paintings
No.
necessarily. These are paintings that probably should be discussed. And
Well, isn't he the guy that did the video on, I don't remember the artist's name, but he had schizophrenia and did the whole series of self-portraits
Of
like
him,
as he
yes.
like as his disease worsened over time.
yeah,
Yeah,
there was
that's what I thought.
again, I can't remember the artist's name either, but
And there's another video that I see and recommended all the time that is like the something art of, but it's the God damn it. It's like a yellow kind of creature thing, kind of person with
Yes,
its
I know-
mouth
I
open
know
and
what
little
thumbnail you're
people
talking about.
walking out.
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that artist name is, but I see that video all the time and it's unnerving to me.
Yeah, he dissects these artworks. He goes into the artist's mental state while they were, making these works of art. And he did one on Kurt Cobain even. So I mean, it's a mixed bag. But like I said, it's typically going to be turn of the century stuff that just wasn't as well known as, like, say, Salvador Dali. You're not going
Right.
to see Salvador Dali on here because we all know who he is. We kind of know what he was
We went
about.
to a museum when we were in Paris.
These are going to be your lesser known artists, for sure.
It seems like a lot of Eastern European and whatnot artists too.
Places that were
just given the names, because I don't know who these people are, but
places that were highly controlled by religious factions, things like that at the turn of the century. But that's pretty cool. Again, that's another long form thing. His videos can be lengthy. I think they run anywhere from 20 minutes to, I think his longest one is maybe 2 hours, right at 2 hours. But if you like artwork and if you like morbid artwork, check that out because it's very fascinating.
Well, let's see. Keeping with the morbid, I know another channel that's on both of our lists, and that's Disturbin'.
I didn't put it on my list because it was already on yours.
Oh, okay. Well, Disturbin' is cool. That is another very morbid. He tends to do shorter videos on specific topics. For example, he did one about the history of oh my God, what's the word? Oh no. Fake arms. What the fuck? What the chat? What's the word? For like amputees, the fucking the things they get to like fake hand. Thank you. God damn it! I'm like, you're looking at me like, yeah, and I'm like, give me the word. I don't know the word. What am I, a writer? No, like the history of the development of prosthetics in World War I.
Oh, yeah.
Or the masks and stuff like that. All the mustard gas attacks and whatnot, what people went through, and the history of the people working to try and give these men back some semblance of self.
And then you see the designs that they came up with, and it was like, it's making my life better, but it's painful as hell.
Yeah.
Just going through this process of trying to figure out the best way to
It's
help.
super interesting. He does a lot of videos on like the history of various diseases. And how devastating they are. There's certain like true crime cases. His voice is amazing though.
Yeah, he does have a Nordic sound.
I cannot. Yeah. Well, he recently had to do a face reveal.
Yes.
He did not want to because he's always just been a voice. Mm-hmm. But his channel was demonetized because they thought he was AI or something. They didn't think he was a real person, and so he had to make a video and saying, hey guys, this is not how I wanted to do this, but I'm really real. I'm starting a Patreon because now I can't depend on this shit. And I looked at the comments on that one because he has an insanely deep voice.
Yes,
I can't even begin
it's very hard to replicate.
Yeah. But after seeing him, you're like, that's absolutely what that guy sounds like.
And, as far as the algorithm goes, looking for AI, I can understand why they would think that he is AI.
I guess.
Because his voice has that quality to it, but it's not.
Well, it's because he enunciates. He speaks very carefully.
And it's methodical and slow.
Yeah. But that's soothing to me. And it fits the darker motifs of his videos, too.
Yeah, it works very well with this.
A lot of the comments were like, motherfucker looks like a Viking. Holy shit. Yeah. He's clear. I wonder how tall he is. He's clearly like a very tall guy.
I loved the open shirt with the rose tattoo on the chest. It was a good.
So
nice touch.
now occasionally he will open a video with his face to prove that it's actually him.
Like
he has a man bun. He's got a beard.
Yeah.
He's clearly well over 6 feet. He just looks like a very tall.
Yeah.
Massive, but not in a fat way, just like a big fucking guy. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. But yes, his true crime stuff is more what I listen to than anything else.
I like his more history videos.
He finds those like really, really disturbing, fucked up stories about like torture and like.
And he doesn't sensationalize anything.
No.
And he's definitely never on like the killer side. It's not like it's much more focused on the victims and what was done to them rather than glorifying the killer that a lot of people do.
The star of the show here.
Yes.
He makes it a point for his content to make sure that we know the names of the victims, what they went through, what they had to endure.
Yes.
And it's always done in a way that is
it's very respectful.
Yes, respect. If one of their family members were to watch it, they're not going to
get mad over the way that their person was
it's handled
represented.
Very
And I am subscribed to his Patreon. Like after that whole demonetization thing happened, I was like, I really enjoy his content, and I think that's bullshit. So I'm not subscribed to too many Patreons. I'm subscribed to Nux and Disturbin though. I do like to support them. Because people have called me a creative person, so I like to pay it back. Like I like to give money to people who create content that enrich my life in one way or another. Yeah. And Nuxanor, Nux Taku and Disturbin enrich my life in very different ways. Extremely different ways.
Those are opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. And then Dancing
content.
Bacons is just out here just doing their own thing. But no, Disturbin, not for the faint of heart, but I really enjoy his voice, the way he composes his videos, the care he puts into everything he does. And he finds a bunch of like old pictures and shit like that, especially the more historical shit. And it's very a morbid fascination for me, because some of the stuff he does, it's hard for me to watch, with my my issues with like, with trypophobia shit.
Yeah.
Some of it I'm like, okay, but some diseases I'm like, I know enough, I'm just gonna give that one a pass. But yeah, it's super interesting. You'll learn something. And yeah, so go check him out for sure.
All right. Moving along. This is one that I watch. I know you don't, and I doubt you've ever seen an episode of it. It's called Get Hands Dirty.
No, I don't even know what that is.
I don't know why the channel is called Get Hands Dirty.
How is this not all over my recommended? All right.
There are no dirty hands in this thing at all.
Okay.
This is a lady who, she lives in Brazil.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's Brazil. Maybe Chile.
I don't know.
I can't remember now. Shit.
I've never seen it.
Anyways, forgive me.
No.
But she makes furniture.
Oh, that's why I don't watch it.
That's
okay.
her thing. And when I first started watching her videos, she had just moved into a new apartment. And I think it is Chile that she's from. Over there, when you move into an apartment, like there's nothing in it.
Right.
There's connections to hook things up.
It's walls.
It's walls and a room. So when she moved in, she completely made every stick of furniture, every shelving unit, every countertop from scratch. And the results are amazing. Watching her go through this whole thing, and she's finished that project now, and it looks amazing. And just the way that she does the step-by-step, like it takes a lot of tools to do what she does, which I don't have.
I bought you a lot of tools.
These are like
you mean like real tools?
No,
the fake fucking tools?
It's not that I don't have real tools. I'm talking about like table saws and shit like that.
I bought you a circular saw.
Anyway.
Yeah.
In order to do what she did, it's going to take
I'm just giving you hell.
Yeah, it takes an entire fucking...
Well, get on it. I'll buy a box and you can decorate it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, I believe you.
But Get Hands Dirty, she started that project, and that's when I started watching her. Once she finished that, I mean, she goes through and she'll show you how to make little things here and there, like storage. If you have, like a small living area, how to maximize the space out of it, with storage shelves, with hideaway beds, things like that. It's another one of those things that I can put on while I'm drawing, and it's, just nice and chill. And then I get to see like the results of that and everything. And she's very passionate about what she does. And, just like giving her the views. Yeah. But that's all you can really say about that. It's, if you're into building furniture and you like seeing the outcomes of hard work and dedication to a project, go check out Get Hands Dirty.
I don't think you watch her, but I'm going to talk about her, and that's Lindsay Nicole. The last name is Nikole. She is, I think she got her start on TikTok. I'm not certain. But she basically she does videos about the history of life on Earth as we know it. She does everything from the different like ancient periods, you know, Precambrian, like da 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 da. And then she'll also pick like a specific, like her new video yesterday I watched is frogs that I think you would like, right? So she is I think she's from California, but she has her presentation is unlike anything I've really seen. She usually is in like a black t-shirt. She's got long dark hair. She's got a black hat on, and the way she talks is very truncated, and very factual, but very dry humor. She's very, okay. I don't even know how to talk about it, but like, yeah, she'll pick a topic and just relay information to you. But the way, yeah, it's most of it's the way she talks that I like. She's just very factual. And here is this, and this guy's fucking cute. And here you go. And there's this information. And like, it's just so like to the point. I don't know. Yeah. I really like learning from her. I think she has a zoology degree. I know she works in zoology. I know she did. But yeah, she's very blunt, but humorous, and goes into like with the frogs and, you know, snakes and whatever it is. It's usually frogs, crabs, snakes, like different kinds of bats, you know, different. She's not doing cats and dogs, right? She's doing the weirder or the more ancient or, you know, exotic
like animals.
Yeah. And the different classifications. She goes into the taxonomy of it and what makes this this kind of frog versus this and all of these things. And she's got, you know, pictures that, you know, get circled through, and she'll go through and collect a bunch of shit that she thinks you'd be interested in. Yeah, I think this is fucking cute. I bet you do too. Da 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 da. And then she'll go through, you know, different fossil records and stuff like that. And she's very knowledgeable, and is a nice change of pace from more like soothing or melodic, whatever. She's very like in your face. Here's this shit. You're gonna fucking love it. Yeah. I like her.
Yeah, you need to be.
She's fun, cool.
You need to have that.
Like I would be friends with her. Like she seems cool to me.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like all these channels that we watch, it's typically going to be somebody. It's like we'd go.
I would. Yeah.
We'd go have a beer with this person.
Absolutely.
You know? Like, we would invite them to our house to hang out.
Sure. Well, maybe some of them.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to talk about Tech Moan.
Oh God, I'm going to take a nap. I will see you the fuck later. This is the.
And I don't know why I like Tech Moan. I have no idea why I
don't know why you do either. It's the most boring shit I've ever seen.
This is the most. Yeah, it's very. Go
ahead.
It's a very milquetoast channel, for sure. So this is another British guy. He's an older guy. I'd say he's probably late 50s, maybe early 60s. He only reviews like lost technology. He'll go and find some stereo player from 1973 and show you what technology was like.
That's awesome.
Back in the 70s or 80s. He did a video where he showed you like prison technology. Like televisions and like VCRs and stuff that they were putting in prisons had to be different because they could be taken apart and used as weapons and shit.
Right.
So they had to figure that out. He reviews 8-track players. He reviews cameras. You name it, he'll review it, but it's all outdated technology. And
didn't he do one on hit clips?
Yes. Yeah, hit clips were a thing.
I did not watch that, but I think you were watching it when I walked through the bedroom one day, and I was like, oof, you have fun. Goodbye.
Yeah, and part of his shtick too is that he'll take these things apart because like he'll order them on eBay or whatever. He'll order them online, like whatever product he's reviewing. And when he gets it, like it won't be working. And then he'll show you why. And he'll go in, he'll replace like wires and show you how to do that. Or he'll replace gears. He'll replace some of the rubber bands and shit.
Is that the channel that I would just walk in and this guy was like washing a PlayStation or whatever?
No, that is the next one I'm going to talk
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Back to back of hit channels a la Chad. Have fun.
Tech Moan is the channel I just discussed. Again, if you're into outdated, like, just
I could not be.
shit.
It's got to be cool to someone. I guess it's cool to you.
It's just
I
don't know.
don't give a shit about an answering machine
Again,
from
it's another thing that I
1981.
can put on in the background. It's not something I have to
Don't
pay
try and
attention to.
justify it. If you like it, you fucking own that you like it.
Yeah, but he's very passionate about it. Again, this goes back to, if you're passionate and you like what you're doing and you can sell this to me, I will watch you. And
Here, you want to talk about your little
Yes.
scrub brush friend?
to
Whoever
move
the
on
fuck
to
that
the next
was.
topic here, odd tinkering.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that's right.
So this is a guy who purposefully finds, it's typically
That channel is fucking gross.
it can
It's
be.
gross.
It can be for sure because of the way people take care of their shit.
Ugh.
But he'll go out and he'll purposefully buy some piece of technology. It's usually a video game system, right? It's going to be like a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox or, Game Boys, things like that. He'll purposely find them that are not working. He likes to find them when they're like sun damaged, because he'll go through and he will clean the shit out of these things. He will take them apart. Every single part of this he will take apart, clean it, and put it all back together.
I don't know. I think of the horror stories that my friend Ian has talked about because he used to work at like a video game store and shit like that, and people would bring consoles in, and he'd be responsible for taking them apart and like
Yeah.
trying not to vomit while like he's got
Yeah, 'cause
gloves
you'll
on.
find,
It's
like,
fucking
dirt and grime and
old
cockroaches
food,
and,
like
yeah,
the crumbs
soda.
and like sticky. What was this?
Yeah, but he'll start the video by showing you the console. He'll hook it up to his TV and show you that it isn't working, and then there's no commentary other than text on the screen. But he'll explain to you his process, what he's doing, why he's taking this off, how he can repair this without ordering a new one. Sometimes he does have to order a new part, and then he'll show you how to put that on. And it's just like, I could take my PlayStation 3 apart and put it back together if I need to, watching this guy. It's that thorough. So I don't know, it's just one of those things. I guess it's just the male in me that likes to see.
Well, it's probably satisfying to see it cleaned. I think it's fucking gross.
Yeah. Well, and you see, like, whenever he gets these vats of cleaning
No, it's the
supplies and
water
shit, the
left
water-
behind.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
When he's
It's
done and the
like
water's
what
just,
that
like,
video of that
gross.
stripper who was washing her money, and like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, the
Yeah.
fucking the
you don't
color
wanna
of the
touch
water
money.
left. Oh
Money
my
is the
God,
dirtiest shit in the
Oh,
world.
so gross. No, thank you. Let me live in the illusion that I'm not surrounded by this shit. Thank you.
But yeah, that's odd tinkering. It's fine if you're interested in old
Dude, I've been giving you
electronics
shit,
and
but
taking
it's
apart.
fine.
Yeah,
You
there's-
like it.
it's not
I don't
hurting
have to
anybody.
like
It's-
everything that you like.
It's fine. It's fun and fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk about udon soba.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, that's the only channel that I could find that does this type of thing that isn't written in like kanji. But talk about boring to some people but endlessly like watchable to me. Udon soba and this whole like genre of channels basically find little mom and pop restaurants in Japan, and it's usually in Japan. But I've seen a couple in other countries. And it just documents the day of these little restaurant owners that, they've been there for 50 years or whatever. And
Yeah.
it just goes throughout their day. It shows.
And I have seen a few of these too.
And they're long form. They're a couple of hours long usually. Of them usually riding up on a bicycle in the morning and, going through prepping all the food, getting the restaurant cleaned and ready to be opened. And then they open and it goes through the lunch rush and you watch them make all the food and serve the customers. And, the person who runs the channel always gets some food themselves. It's a lot of close-ups of like really awesome looking food.
Yes, it's all very delicious.
But you get to
looking.
see these people who've been making gyoza for 50 years, and it's like nothing. They just do it, and it's super fucking interesting to me.
Yeah, it is. For some reason, there is an aspect of it that is just like, why am I still watching this? But
It's so interesting,
very
but
captivated.
comforting.
yeah.
Like it's definitely a comfort channel. And it's also given me tips and tricks for my own cooking. I make katsudon sometimes. That's the pork cutlet
Yeah.
with the egg and the, all of that stuff. And I learned, I have a recipe for it, obviously, but the specific way to cover the egg and everything at the very end with the sauce and the onions and like in the pork, the way that I do it in the little pan, I learned from watching,
Right.
a katsudon specialty restaurant make it all fucking day, So
Yeah, check that out. It is an interesting channel. It doesn't sound all that interesting.
I really like it. And udon soba isn't the only one. Udon soba, or for people who don't know, are two different types of noodles. Udon and soba.
Right.
I've watched so much udon being made. I really like it. And yeah, they do. And sometimes it'll be Chinese restaurants in Japan, but it's always these little hole in the wall places that it doesn't fucking matter what you get there. It's going to be amazing.
Right. Yeah.
I love that it's never anything super fancy. It's not fine dining. It's real food made by real people who have been doing it on their own for a long time.
Successful at it for a very long time.
It is their life. These little restaurants.
Yes, and these are like family owned, handed down.
Yeah.
Generation by generation restaurants.
Yeah. And I really, really like
their
it.
Traditional way of making these things.
Yeah. And there's not always even a lot of text on the screen. Obviously no one's speaking English. There's sometimes subtitles that'll say like what the food is, or sometimes they'll subtitle what the people are saying. But it's just the clatter. I don't know. It's the clatter of dishes and the chatter of people and the food coming out.
It's
and
the white noise.
It is. Yeah. It's the perfect thing to nap to on a rainy day. It's the perfect thing to just kind of decompress. If you don't want to be super engaged with something, but you'd like something to help you pass the time in a very nice way.
Yeah. And that's
that nothing's expected of you.
You could watch that and read.
You could.
It'd be very relaxing. Actually.
They should make those like apps that help you sleep, where you can like choose. I'd like dryer and a fire and then rain on a tin roof specifically.
I have one of those apps.
Yeah,
and I have used it.
So, they need to just have like a katsudon restaurant setting, and I would go right the fuck to sleep. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
All right, so what's next? You have far more left on your list than I do.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about Yumio for a minute. Yumio Katsumata. Like straight up, this is a guy I know. Yumio is he is a screenwriter who grew up in Japan, now lives in California, and he's an independent screenwriter. He cooks a lot too. But he has a YouTube channel where he does interviews with indie authors. And then also different videos of him. Like he made karage once, which is like Japanese fried chicken.
Podcast?
I've been on it twice. Okay. Yeah. But that's not why I'm saying it. Yumio, his Twitter account is super interesting too, because his whole thing is coming from Japan and trying to learn the American way of writing and communicating and like all of that.
Different.
Yeah.
It's extremely different.
And but at the same time teaching those people who are interested about his culture. So it's like a culture swap thing.
Interesting.
He's an absolute darling. I love him to pieces. He's had several Shadow Spark authors on his podcast. He does these little he has got a couple of series going on. He did one was just kind of like a showcase of who are you, what is your stuff about. And I was Valerie Storm was his first guest. Erica McCorkle was his second.
Hi, Valerie.
And I was his third. So like he's kind of SSP adjacent at this point. A lot of us adore him. And he deserves more views. He's very earnest. He's very, he's just great. But he doesn't just talk to Shadow Spark. He talks to people from all over the world in all different genres, learning how native English speakers communicate through speaking and writing. And, you know, then also explaining how it is in his mind, how he grew up and stuff like that. So Yumio Katsumata, his karage video is great. His little fried chicken, because he cooks for his wife like every day, like a bunch of, you know, it's the Japanese style of a lot of little dishes and stuff like that.
Right.
But he is an amazingly genuine person. He's adorable. I really like Yumio. He's always positive.
It definitely helps.
He's always positive. He's always helpful. And he's just pure. So yeah, I gotta talk about Yumio. I will talk about Yumio any chance I get. He's a very nice boy.
Right on.
He's older than me, boy, but everyone's a boy to me.
Right. Okay, so I've got a channel I want to talk about. It's called BAM Animation.
I don't even know if I know that.
This is something that I found maybe 2 weeks ago. It was shortly after I got the new iPad. These guys break down using Photoshop. They break down using Procreate and giving you ideas on drawing better characters. And for me, the most important, backgrounds. Because holy shit, backgrounds are one of the hardest things.
I think people don't realize that.
They don't.
And a good background can make or break it. Like, seriously.
And what they said in one of their videos that I was watching on background specifically is that a lot of people, when they're drawing and they need a background, they just look at it as a space, right? It's just a place that these characters are in.
Right.
When what you need to be doing is looking at the background as a character itself.
Absolutely.
I don't know why I'd never heard that before, but the way that they broke that down and said, you know, a house can be a house, but a house can be a character.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, the sky can just be a sky, or it can be a character. Like, you have to think of this as a three-dimensional space that these people are in that has character of its own, and that character needs to reflect the personalities of the characters in the scene.
Right.
And just the way that they break this down and show you how to use the different tools and stuff, like, I really think that this channel is going to be very helpful for me moving forward with doing art and, you know, character design, things like that.
Yeah, because you've been drawing a lot.
I have.
I love to see it.
Yeah, it's something that I used to love doing.
I know.
Back in the day.
I remember.
Like, now that I have the iPad and Procreate, it takes away the stress of drawing. It really does, because it's
you've been super adorable, because like it's been, I can't tell you how many years since you would bring me something like in progress. You're like, look here, what do you think of this? Here, update, here you go. And I'm like, oh, it's going right on the fridge. No, but like, good job. I'm so proud.
Here's your juice
Oh my
box.
goodness, pat. Goodbye now. No, no, there's genuine desire to create in your eyes again, and I love that, because you had lost that for a very long time. So I'm glad that this has
depression's a bitch, man.
I know. I'm glad this has been reawakened, and it's really good timing, because like I said, I had a book release a week ago yesterday, and so I've been really busy with all of that, and I don't need to worry about what you're doing. You're in there, you're just drawing, you know.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and this channel that I found, they do a lot of animation stuff, which I probably will at some point get interested in doing. I just, right now, I don't want to. I have, you know, I do want to learn it just for my own benefit, you know. Not only that, but like, you know, there are people out there that'll pay good money for you to do animations for them, like book releases and things like that, for, you know, promotional material. Stuff like that don't have to be a 2-hour long animated film.
Oh Jesus, I can't even imagine how long that would take.
Oh,
but
forever.
But yeah.
But BAM Animation, these two guys, they work very well together. Again, they're very chill, they're very straight to the point, and they're very good at helping you see the mistakes that you're making. In fact, one of the things that they do is they'll have viewers send in their character designs, and they'll recreate them. So if you send in a design, they'll point out things that you did right, and they'll point out things that aren't.
That you could use some work.
Yes. And then they'll recreate the character and then say, here's the way that we would have designed this. And that's super beneficial to me too, because I want my characters to look three-dimensional. I want them to have personalities. I want them not to be just flat designs on a piece of paper.
They need to have life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they need to look like they're part of the environment they're in. They need to interact with that environment correctly to be believable to somebody looking at it.
Sure.
It's somebody who's willing to pay money for it.
Exactly. Yes. It's a skill.
So yeah, that's BAM Animation. I just wanted to throw them out there. I discovered them very recently.
Okay. You want to talk about Thalasso Hobbier?
Am I aware of this?
Yeah, that's the crafting guy who does the huge because thalassophobia is the fear of the deep, right? Fear of the ocean.
Yeah.
He does the enormous God, how do you even describe it? Because he always puts them in resin at the end to where it looks like the ocean. He does these like eldritch creatures and shit
These
interacting. Yeah, okay. It's like a below and above type thing. Like the one that we watched not too long ago with the shrine, or like with the Four Seasons. So he makes everything from scratch.
A lot of it has to do with deep water.
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of, but his shit is so
he's using an absurd amount of resin.
Oh yeah.
To recreate water effects and look like things are
stunning.
Underwater. Yeah, it is.
It is
very impressive.
Fucking insanely good.
And then, it turns out he's just making this stuff out of styrofoam and paint.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very interesting to see. And when he's done, it looks like
my God.
Stone.
It's
looks
art.
like water.
It is it takes your breath away.
Yeah.
Like I am left in awe of this guy's talent. And I don't like the ocean. Fuck the ocean. I mean, save the ocean, whatever. I don't want to be in it. Save the ocean away from me. But oh my God. Like I'm just in awe of the absolute beauty and morbidity, like kind of wrapped up in one. And there's typically either a sense of
there's fantasy elements to it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, there's a sense of longing and sadness in a lot of them too. Like of like the one that's like the dilapidated castle that has the moat guardian, who's this enormous, monstrous, eldritch horror creature who is just waiting for the king to return and doesn't understand that the castle is broken. Like nobody's coming.
Yeah, these things have mythological lore to them.
Yeah.
Some of them are based on like gods from different religions
or different folklore and stuff like that. And there's always an element of large underwater creatures mixed with above ground something or other
that's been ravished by time.
Yeah, usually. Like the shrines were like pristine and all of that. But a lot of it is more dilapidated and stuff like that. But yeah, it's THALASSO HOBBYER, Thalasso Hobbier. He's another guy who a lot of our YouTube channels, and that's another awesome thing about YouTube. A lot of our YouTube channels, especially ones we're talking about today, they don't even speak English, but they don't need to. Like, it doesn't lessen my enjoyment whatsoever. It's a peek into a different part of the world and what other people are doing, and I love that, So
Absolutely.
it'll be text on the screen occasionally. He apologizes a lot for not being good enough, which is very Japanese, take on things.
Very apologetic.
And I'm like,
what are you
you're out of your
for?
fucking mind. He's insistent that he can't make trees, and like his Sakura tree was just absolutely incredible.
Proceeds to make a perfect forest.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so sorry. I will try and do better. And I'm like, my guy, I get that I get the mindset.
Very humble.
I know where you're coming from.
Humble.
Yeah, but come on.
You got to be aware that you're talented at least a little bit.
But yeah, like some of his videos have millions of views and others don't have that many. And I'm like, go find him. Go watch him. You will be astounded.
Just watch one of his videos. Just look at a thumbnail and decide if it's something you want to watch and make.
Shit.
It is amazing. The process that he goes through to make these things.
Yeah.
And it looks so easy. That's the thing too. Is like,
fuck him for that.
Yeah. When you're watching some of these things, like this channel.
Yeah.
To get inspired by these people, they have to make it look effortless.
Right.
They have to make it look easy, or no one is ever going to attempt to do this.
Yeah.
He makes this look way too fucking easy.
It's insane. Like his paint work is incredible. His sculpting is like flawless. The way that he works in 3 dimensions to create these dioramas, like a diorama to me is like a fucking, 2nd grade project you do in a shoebox. Like,
and I very much appreciate channels like his that they don't rely on 3D printing.
Oh no.
3D printing to me is like the least impressive thing you can do to make a diorama. It is not impressive to me that you know how to put numbers in a computer and print out what you want. It's just not. This guy goes through, he uses styrofoam, he uses clay, he does all kinds of different mediums to achieve these effects, and it is always stellar.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
All right, you want to, how many you have left? We gotta be coming to the end
1,
of this.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, well, you better get some off your list then, because I'm almost done.
So someone else we've been watching this week that we kind of go through periods of watching, and it's almost always older content, because I think his older stuff's a lot better.
Exactly where this is going.
That he kind of comes and goes in our life. He's been there for well over a decade at this point.
Well, it doesn't help that he uploads 3 videos a year.
Well, and I don't even really like the new ones, to be honest, most of the time. And I know he's a controversial guy because of some shit he said. And I'm not even touching any of that. I don't want to hear it. Shut up.
I'm separating art from artist here.
Well, regardless, I just don't want to hear about it. But his old videos, specifically JonTron, have been in and out of our household for many years.
Right.
And I mean, like, back when Jacques was in the videos, his bird.
I hope Jacques is okay.
Well, from what I understand, he is, and he has a mate and a baby now.
Well, he's got a family. So
he fucked off. He told John, "Fuck you, man. I'm moving on."
He's got a family to support.
I've grown up, okay. But old school JonTron, like the shit he was doing, like before, during, and just after, creating the Game Grumps with Aaron.
Right. Yes, he was part of Game Grumps.
Well, he was the original, but he wasn't even there for a full year before all of that happened. But back before he even moved out of his parents' house, because that's clearly like his dad's office.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's the family office for sure.
Yeah. Now he has like a set, like a movie, like a TV show, like a sitcom
it's
set.
Clearly a set and not part of his house.
Yes, it is a set. He's got a
kind.
huge like group of people. And I mean, to be fair, he doesn't make many videos a year because he doesn't fucking have to. Everything that like goes on has like 16 million views in like 4 days. Yeah. So why would he? He doesn't need to. He's fine. But I do feel that a lot of the newer stuff has lost something.
It did. And I can tell you where it changed. The flex tape video.
Oh, you think so? Because it went so insane?
Yes. After that, it became product reviews.
I figured it was more like the Starcade thing and all of that.
I think that was just kind of like leading up to because that came out, I believe, wasn't that right before?
It was around the flex tape thing. I only remember because I don't like Star Wars.
So he did a episode where he reviewed flex tape and Flex Seal, which is just a as seen on TV product to patch up your bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And it went super
crazy viral, super insane viral.
And after that, it just became okay. Let's review products.
Yeah.
And then there was one episode where he did like workout tapes that celebrities put out. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of like it's a hodgepodge of things I don't care about anymore.
Well, to me, it just doesn't seem like his heart is in it as much. There's something, there's like passion lacking.
He's losing the energy he had.
Which is totally understandable. He's been doing this shit forever.
Yeah.
But what I love are his Goosebumps series or,
his movie reviews.
Yeah.
His game reviews.
Yeah. The shit from forever ago.
That video.
Zoo Race.
Yes. The video where he just reviewed those plug and play games that are just terrible.
Yeah.
Was funny as hell.
But he himself is a meme at this point. Like I see a lot of JonTron clips in other like YouTubers videos, the different reactions and shit like that he gave in those classic videos. Like people just clip it and it's like, he shows up all across YouTube.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
But no.
This is another one of those channels that like at any given time, you and I will just quote him.
Yeah.
His earlier stuff was so quotable.
It really was. And I don't know how it happened, but last weekend, We ended up watching a lot of the older videos again. That's probably something you did.
I don't know how he didn't try to like become a comedian or something.
Well,
I could have seen him going into stand up.
Maybe. It depends if he. But a lot of his shit is more reactionary.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a set of jokes.
It's not observational, it's reactionary.
It's reactionary. Yeah. Like a lot of his shit that just makes us die over and over again are, you know,
him reacting to the stupidity of whatever it is
he's
reviewing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, like Action 52 or whatever the fuck. But yeah, those old classic JonTron videos, which is fun to like. I remember when they were new. Like I literally remember when Zoo Race came out because it was on like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and we were like, "Holy shit! It's a Merry Christmas." There's a new JonTron video, and that one was an instant classic in our household, at least.
Yeah, it's still to this day one of my favorites.
That's the hand of a defeated man.
Yeah, if I mean, look. You probably know who JonTron is.
Probably. If you're listening to a YouTube episode, you probably know who JonTron is.
But if you don't, go out, just watch that Zoo Race video that he did, and that'll give you a good idea. And anything previous to that episode being uploaded is going to be
probably
cool.
Good. Yeah. Again, his Goosebumps series was really funny. Those 2 videos. Yeah. I don't know. If Jacques is there, it's probably good.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but yeah. Someone who I've run through most of his content at this point, who was I was watching him more because like once I can breathe, I'm going to be starting, you know, my own YouTube channel. And one of the things I was looking to do is, watching different anime that I haven't seen before and, you know, reacting and whatever. And I found this channel named Danny Mata, who, that's what he does. And so it was more just like there is something. I mean, people want to talk shit about React content if you don't transform it in any way or add to it, right? And I totally get that. Just like watching a video while you're on camera and not adding anything and just farming views, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I do think it's extremely entertaining to watch someone go through something that you love and experience it for the first time and see how it affects them. Because sometimes they have insights or questions or whatever that even if you've watched something 50 times hasn't occurred to you. You know, so he was watching, I don't remember what the first one was, but he watched like all of Full Metal Alchemist, like different anime series that I think Black Butler was how I found him. He was watching Black Butler.
Very familiar with.
Extremely familiar with, yes.
It helps. It definitely helps.
And yeah, so, you know, shit like that is fun. And so I think Black Butler was the first one. That I watched of his. And because, I mean, you know, if you're an anime fan, you have to own and acknowledge.
Do they call themselves Fanimes?
No. No. What? No. God damn it. You derailed me. Whatever. Anyways, nice. He was entertaining. Fuck you. Move on. No, good day to you.
Well, I get what you're saying with those people that they try to have those reactionary videos where all they do is just watch the thing they're supposed to.
Yeah, and they're like eating lunch.
Yeah,
like that's big on Twitch and shit. And it's like really looked down upon by other YouTubers and shit. You're just stealing content,
plagiarizing someone else's work.
You're just because rather than people finding that video and going and giving that video the view, they're giving you the view, and you're not even reacting to it, adding to it, like
And let me also say that when it comes to like content that I watch on YouTube, if there's a channel that exists only to regurgitate the same shit that is on a channel I watch, I will go to the channel I watch to watch that.
Sure. Well, like, okay, another example on that same idea is I've watched most of Turkey Tom's like videos and Tom Dark and shit like that.
Yeah.
Nux will occasionally, and Nux, again, to bring it back to Nux fucking Taku, he also reaches out to the people and is like, hey, do you mind if I react to this on my channel? He gets permission first. Does he have to? No. But it's polite, so that's what he does.
It's what you should do.
And he'll watch a Turkey Tom video that I've already fucking seen. But he'll pause and add and like go look shit up and like,
So he's reacting to a reaction video.
Well, no, because Tom doesn't. No, I'm not talking about any of Tom's like reactions videos. I'm talking about his like long form essays about different drama or whatever that he's done. And Nux will watch that to learn about the drama, but then add to it. And he's always pausing it. And if you look like the length of the Turkey Tom video and Nux's video, Nux adds almost double the amount of time, right? So that's transformative. He's not just letting it play and occasionally going, wow, that's fucked up. He'll have to pause and be like, I have things to say. I have opinions. I must express them. And shit like that is super fun to me or interesting, whether it's anime or YouTube drama or whatever the fuck it is.
Super engaging.
Right. And so that's part of the kind of content I'm going to be doing on my channel over time. And so Danny Mata was a cool and different way of doing it. That I fully plan on taking inspiration for in parts when it comes to making my own content. So that was something I've been watching a lot lately because now I'm starting to look at, it's like you were talking about, I don't remember what the fuck we were watching the other day, but you were like looking at paying attention to the shading in things in animation and stuff like that because you're drawing more now.
We were watching Game Grumps and they were doing the Phoenix Wright.
Oh, yeah. They're playing the second Phoenix Wright game.
I pay attention to the way they design the characters and the shading.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm very similar in a completely different way because I've been editing video episodes of my podcast and not this one because this is not my podcast, the Shadow Spark podcast for over a year now. And so transitions and layering and like there's times when I'm watching YouTube videos now where I can almost see the Premiere Pro screen in my head and I can see like how they, like I know that and this and this and this and, so I'm in the research phase at this point of what do I want my content to be and what are people doing that A, gets views, B, is authentic, and C, looks good, So that's really what I've been doing with some of my time. I'm mostly caught up with his stuff now. But that was a channel that I like the way he does anime react content. He does it correctly. It's very engaging. And yeah, I liked it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to talk briefly about a channel I watch. It's called Cartoonist Kayfabe. I like comics.
No.
I typically don't like modern comics. The stuff that I like is typically going to be from the 80s and 90s.
Or indie, like that Eric July thing.
Yeah, indie stuff. But Cartoonist Kayfabe, now this is a channel that's run by Ed Piskor, who is a writer. He's released some things. I have a couple of series that he's done.
Oh.
But basically this is a review channel for that era of comic. In the 90s, I had a father who collected comics. He showed me a lot of his stuff from the 80s. And then in the 90s, I got into my own stuff, especially when Image came in and, we had Spawn, we had the Max, things of that nature. That's when I first started getting into comics. And that's the era that they go through and they'll show you like different graphic novels from that time, right? Or they'll go through different issues of Wizard magazine of all things. I had a subscription to Wizard magazine as a kid. And just seeing those pages again is very nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
And just hearing them talk about like the different interviews and stuff that they had in these magazines from creators that I am very aware of now that I really wasn't as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of interesting to go back and watch them go through these magazines now because I don't have any of them, but I can watch them go through it and be like, oh, this makes sense now. And this creator, I know who this creator is now.
That's cool.
That's just something I wanted to throw out there. If you're a comic book fan, Cartoonist Kayfabe, that's the name of the channel. Check them out because they'll go through, especially if you're into like 90s comics. 90s is probably the era they cover the most. But anyways, I just want to throw that out there.
Well, let's go a little bit further back in time and talk about Townsends.
Talk about what?
Townsends. Townsends. That's a channel that my brother showed me not too long ago. And it's this guy who just recreates and tells all about, shit back in like revolutionary times in America and stuff like that. He makes a lot of food. And just he okay. Did you ever go on like a field trip to one of those old like towns as a kid?
Yes.
I feel like I know I did. And it was like frontier days, like
Yeah.
type
Yes.
of thing.
Where it's just like learn how the colonial lives of people were back in the day.
Yeah. And like the kind of food they ate and what they had to go through to do any
Now
fucking
stand
thing.
here and churn butter.
Yeah, exactly. Like that type of thing. So, yeah, but like the first video of his was on a subject that I actually knew about through reading just books and stuff, and it was about pemmican, which a lot of people probably don't know. And this sounds so nerdy and boring, but I swear it's interesting. And how pemmican changed the way that the United States was colonized and shit like that. And pemmican is basically think of it like an energy bar of the past, okay? Right? It's like it's powdered, it's like meat that's been dried and like pounded to like a powder mixed with like fat, usually lard, and occasionally and just compressed into bars. That's the most like basic form, and it keeps for fucking ever, and it's high fat, high protein.
Right.
You could flavor it with like dried fruit and whatever, but that enabled people to go out
Longer
for
distances.
months.
Yes.
Yeah, and go, and how that changed, how just this simple thing, the discovery of it, which they got from the Native Americans, okay?
Yeah.
Because that's how I knew. It's this Native American fantasy series I read like as a kid or whatever, and they talked about pemmican. But that's just an example, and he goes through, shows you how to make it, talks about the historical significance. Again, I like history, so a lot of my shit is like different kinds of history, but all different kinds of history of any number of fucking things. But yeah, man, he is just this older guy, like, who's very passionate about this period of history, and because it was a very important world-changing time. And it's just interesting. I've watched a few of his different videos. He's made different like soups and stews, and he does woodworking, and just all of that kind of stuff from back then, packaged in a very pleasant video. His editing is rudimentary, but it's good. It's fine. It's nice and simple, clean. And it is cool.
Nice.
I've been watching some Townsends with my brother.
Y'all watch the most interesting stuff together. It's just what?
Well, one of my 2 channels I have left to talk about is another one that he showed me. So
Go for it.
This is Jacob Geller, and that's very different. Jacob Geller creates long form video essays. God, that's how many times have we fucking said long form video essays? But about any number of things. Usually darker or more morbid things. He did one about like, he has this whole fear series where he picks a fear like of the dark or of the deep.
Right.
Or whatever. And he goes through movies, books, video games, and goes through and folklore history, all of these different, like the history of the fear of the deep. I almost didn't watch that video for reasons you should understand.
Yes, I'm very aware of your phobia.
But it was fascinating. And because he presents it like sometimes he's standing in front. He's got a little notebook that he like reads little passages from like classic literature or folklore or like I said, anything from video games. So like any fucking thing, he picks a topic and compiles this really well put together narrative that goes throughout time. The history of the deep one focused on a lot of different things, but the Kraken was a thorough through like throughout the different videos that kept coming up, and what the concept of something so massive and unknowable, which is why I hate the fucking ocean. Yeah. But he's always been fascinated by it. And
hopefully
so
you're not ever going to be in those parts of the ocean.
May I fucking never. I literally, on my bucket list is to put my feet in every ocean in the world, but that's enough. Like when we were in Nice, and by the way, the beach there was rocks. I did not expect it. I'm used to sand. That was interesting. I go into about my knees. I did the same thing when we were in San Diego. Like, it doesn't matter. I got to put my feet in, but that's enough. Then I will retreat to live among the seagulls, and I'm okay. But no, the concept of the Kraken from mythology, and how the point is you don't really know what's down there, and things that were thought to be myth sometimes turn out to be real, and the different like examples of this throughout history, and how it all ties back to this rudimentary fear within like that like more primal part of your soul. And different examples throughout current media.
Lost touch with, just due to modern.
And there was one part, I don't remember the game he goes over. It's some fucking game when and I would never play it. Where you're stuck in like a one-person submarine, way deep down.
Subnautical?
I don't know.
Is that what it's called?
Subnautica, maybe. But you have to just flip, and you're so deep down that there's no windows, right? Like you're just totally enclosed.
On a radar screen.
Yes, it's fucking garbage. Yes. And then there's like, and I was fine, right? I was fine. But then he was like, and then there was this one time, I don't even like to think about it. There's this like really shitty black and white camera that you can occasionally take a picture of whatever's out there.
Yeah.
And you can see on the radar when something's big. And like it sounds so dumb to describe it, but you see the picture
and it just pops up.
It's just the eyeball.
Yeah.
It is this, it takes up the entire thing, and it's just, and I was like, I haven't even seen the video.
Playing games like
I am curled in on myself right now. I hate that shit so much.
For me to play a game like that is not as intensive as it is for you, but
that's not pleasing.
In that situation in real life is a totally
that's
different.
My problem with a lot of shit. Anything I consume, it's why I have 53 at this point adopted anime sons and one daughter. Like, I put myself in these situations and I over empathize and I get too fucking invested, and then it affects me emotionally in my human body right here. You know, that's just, it is what it is. But fuck that game. But no, he does one like about the cold, and he has different series. But the fear ones are the ones that stand out most to me. It's so well done. Mm-hmm. It's fucking fascinating. I love that he brings in modern examples too. It's an amalgamation of the course of recorded history, different ways on this one topic.
Right.
And it's fucking cool, and I like it.
Right on.
Yeah, Jacob Geller.
All right, we're
cool guy.
We're now at my last one. And I just want to mention this because, I do have a love of video games. I don't play a whole lot of games anymore, just due to other...
Oh, Jesus, you left...
Just due to...
No pun intended.
I have other interests going on right now.
Yes.
And I would much rather spend that time doing my hobbies than playing video games, really. But this channel, it's called Metal Jesus Rocks.
Yeah,
Everyone out there probably knows who Metal Jesus is.
No, just him turning to the camera with his cell phone.
Yeah. Jessica is referring to the intro that he does. There's a small little split-second image of him on a cell phone that makes her laugh.
Because it's like, okay, like that stupid Too Many Cooks thing. It's the old sitcom thing of like turning to and you caught me.
It was on purpose. He did it on purpose.
It's just
so this guy he reviews video games, kind of. He's not a Let's Player. Although he has done special episodes where he does play video games, but mainly he's a collector. That's his thing. He's been collecting video games. And
he has a really impressive collection.
Yeah, he's been collecting video games, I think he said, for the better part of like 30, 35 years.
He used to work at Sierra.
He did. He
back
was,
in the day.
Back in the 90s, he was part of Sierra Entertainment.
Like, I'm crying over that cell phone. I'm okay.
But the biggest reason why I watch him now, he does videos where he'll do game collecting, where he'll go out, he'll film himself buying games and things like that. Yeah. And why that's important to me is because we have a game collection.
Yeah, we do.
I like knowing what those are worth. Whether I have any intentions on selling them or not, I still want to know the value of my collection.
Right. Well, he also has friends come on that are also collectors, and he did a lot of. I don't really watch this guy, but I know he has a lot of hidden gem videos that he did a while ago.
The other thing I was going to explain is, when it does come to gaming, especially for me recently, the AAA title games, for the most part, I'm not interested in. They are way too time consuming. They are far too involved, and I just don't have the time or whatever. But he prefers indie games, small bite-sized games that take maybe 10 to 12 hours to complete. The art style on them is incredible. The gameplay is fun, whatever. I prefer those, Tetris is one of my favorite games
Yes,
ever.
I know. And you're you're ridiculous at Tetris.
Resogun is another just fucking phenomenal game that I can play because I could play it for 10 minutes. I can play it for 2 hours, and that's what he gets into is those small indie games that are just bite size. They're fun. They usually have a great aesthetic.
Your vampire game,
story.
the library game. What is it called? I call it the library game.
Survivors?
Yeah. Because you always play the library level.
It's that arcade style, just quick sessions of gaming, that were kind of meant to eat your quarters, whatever. But that's what I prefer now that I don't have as much time to devote to, say, a Final Fantasy or, a Skyrim or something like that.
You're so old. How about Elden Ring?
Elden Ring.
That's newer.
Is a good one.
Although people still play Skyrim.
Starfield is another one that I just like.
Well,
I was really hyped when they announced that, and now it's just like
for a couple of years leading up to it, you were like, hell yeah.
And it's just another one of those games that I'm going to have to devote hundreds of hours into completing.
Well, and there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
In the case of Starfield, but I don't know. I prefer more long form, chill games for the most part. I mean, I play Elden Ring with my brother and stuff like that. I've played all the Dark Souls games. I love those. Yeah. But for the most part, I play like Stardew Valley. I play Genshin Impact. I like visual novels. That's my shit.
What I just said, like if they made a new Fallout game, I'm there.
Well, yeah.
Fallout is one of those series that like I don't care how many hours I got to put into it. Like I'll
well, and you maxed out even the DLC of Cyberpunk. You were one of the few who were like, I don't fucking care about the glitches. The aesthetic is my life, and fuck all of you.
Cyberpunk was an abusive relationship for me.
It was toxic.
It was very toxic.
You were very much like, no, but he loves me.
If I had just waited until they completed the game like they should have, but yeah. That was a roller coaster.
But whatever. It was, no, I know, because we have a pretty decently sized house. And I would hear you from the other end. Like, we were in my office. I would hear you from the bedroom when the game would crash out of fucking nowhere or whatever. Yeah. God damn it! And I'm like, he's having fun. Uh-huh.
Well, since getting the Series X version and all the updates and everything, I mean, the game is phenomenal. Well,
yeah.
When I first got it, I was playing it on a PS4. And
you were overdosing on the copium, like, to be honest.
I refused to hate it.
I know.
I refused to because I waited so long for this. It was based on a tabletop game that I was familiar with.
It's Homer after the pig that goes flying. It's just a little airborne. It's still good.
Aesthetically, this game is right up my alley. Yes. I love cyberpunk shit.
Yeah.
And I just refuse to hate it. And I don't.
Well, and you did get a lot of enjoyment out of it, even when the world was like, oh, this is garbage. You were like, yeah, well, fuck you. I'm having fun, so fuck you.
If they release another cyberpunk game, I'll play it. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I'm going to play bite-sized experience games that I don't have to sit there for hours on end to enjoy or to get anything accomplished. I think that's my biggest problem with those games that take so long is like you can sit there for 3 hours and then not get anything done.
Well, it just depends. I don't know. The kind of games I play are far. But that's what you're doing.
Well, yeah. I mean, if that's part of the game, but
don't be talking shit about fishing in video games.
Or like a Final Fantasy game. Again, love the Final Fantasy series. But I would sit there and grind and grind and grind.
But there's people who that's part of the enjoyment.
And it was when I was younger.
I remember.
But now I'm just looking at a new Final Fantasy game and I'm thinking, how many fucking hours am I going to have to sink into this? regardless how much I want to play it or how
Well,
good it looks or
I
how
don't know.
fun it looks.
To me,
It's
I
the
like a game
time
that I could, whenever I have the chance, which isn't often, let's be honest, to just like go explore or do something or like create something, right? Because like my brother Kalen, he's still to this day plays Fallout 4 and 76 and all of that, and his crafting, his building, that whole side of the game, he's fucking incredible.
Fallout 4 has something for everybody.
Yeah. And with Stardew Valley, like I'm getting my farm ready for the next thing. I'm working on building my relationships. I'm, getting deeper in the mine. I have a lot of things to do. With Genshin, I'm it's occasional pulling on banners just depending on who it is, but I've been playing that for close to 2 years now, so most of that shit's unlocked. I don't play Genshin as much anymore as I used to because it's mostly just daily shit at this point. I'm caught up on the story.
Yeah,
So.
I've completed Cyberpunk as much as I possibly can, so I'm probably done with that too.
So Metal Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's
straight
that's all you
away
can say about Metal Jesus. I mean, he's a collector. If you like watching people collect,
he goes to Japan a lot too, and like gets
he'll
stuff
do
there.
Japan videos.
Is his friend Reggie? He has on a lot.
Yeah, Radical Reggie, who is another collector who has a channel.
Is he
of his
real
own.
cool Radical Reggie?
Yes, he is in fact. But yeah, their friendship is charming. It's adorable.
It's very pure.
Yeah,
it is two guys
They're just two
loving their
late
collections
40s
and
guys.
talking about old shit and just being awesome about it.
It's
kind of corny,
collecting video games because they have a passionate love for it. They've afforded themselves the lifestyle that collecting games does because you got to have money, you got to have time. They're living in what they had always imagined they would live in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch it. It's not my thing. But I understand if you're into that type of thing, how that would be appealing.
Yeah, and for me, again, it's getting the recommendations on indie games that I probably wouldn't be aware of because I don't even spend a whole lot of time in the Microsoft store looking for games or watching trailers or anything anymore.
Yeah.
So it helps for me to have a channel that every week they upload something that gives me that exposure so that maybe I could find something.
If you see something, you're like, oh.
Exactly. And then on top of that, he goes through his game collection and shows like you said, the hidden gems and then like the value of these things, what they're going for online. Because that's one of the disclaimers. He's like, now, just so you know, if you want to buy this game, you're going to be paying this much for it because it's a high dollar game. And then he'll go and show you other options of getting it digitally or whatever.
If you just want to play it.
Right. If you just want to play
rather than, because I mean, he's not one of the collectors that just has everything wrapped up in pristine condition.
No,
like he plays
games.
them.
He
Even I know
spends
that.
time playing games.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's all you can say about his channel.
The cell phone is
still
the best part.
That's the last one I had. So
okay.
It's all you.
Well, there was one that I have at the very end of my list that I was like, well, I should probably talk about it a little bit. The channel is called Shadowspark Publishing.
Shadowspark Publishing.
Yeah, it is.
That sounds familiar.
Really? Have you watched it? Probably not.
I don't like any of the people on that channel.
You're a dick.
They're extremely annoying and very try hard.
Okay, well, I'll remember that. You're supposed to be on an episode next week.
All. Of course, I know who you are. And of course, I watch it. I listen to the podcast.
You don't watch it. You do listen to the podcast, but you don't watch it. Anyways.
Well, I mean, I listen to the podcast, and you have video podcasts.
Yeah, we have full video. Most of it. So Shadowspark Publishing is an indie publishing house. We publish books. A lot of the strange, dark, and mysterious, to quote Mr. Ballin. But you know. I don't know. I was like, I should probably talk about one of my fucking YouTube channels.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Shadowspark podcast, we do a lot of interviews with different authors and stuff like that, but we also go into the writing process as well as like tropes, and a lot of world building and stuff like that, both about our books as well as things that we like. We also have quarterly things we like episodes where, there's 4 hosts and there are a bunch of other people who like come and go on the podcast. But it's me, and Erica McCorkle, Valerie Storm, and Alyssa Lau Sang, all of which are some of my authors. Yeah, man, we talk about all kinds of shit. You know, the things we like episodes, we're all fucking anime nerds. The four of us, not the entire house. A lot of Shadow Spark couldn't care less about anime. We're just the loudest ones, so that, you know, people we've gained a reputation
you guys
for
have
it.
a shared love of a subject.
Yeah, sure.
That's how you work well.
But
together,
even still within that, anime is so massive that a lot of the shit that I really love, they don't like. Or, you know, like Erica, you know, watches a lot of super niche shit that I've never heard of.
And I'll say something controversial right now.
Oh, God.
I agree with Valerie Storm.
Uh-huh.
Digimon is better than Pokemon. Always.
I have no opinion on that. Not for lack of controversy, but because I've never seen an episode of Digimon in my life. And I only know Pokemon really from Kalen, because he was the perfect age when it first came out. And then our kiddo later on.
My nieces and nephews were...
I'm too old. I was in like junior high?
Yeah.
Junior high, early high school when Pokemon first came out, and I used to draw Pokemon characters. It's like one of the only things I've ever like looked at that I've drawn and been like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I would draw him little Pokemons, you know, like Pikachu and Oddish and Vulpix and, you know, whatever he really liked at the time. And then our kiddo was super into it for a long time, but yeah, man, it's not just anime. It's a whole bunch of shit. And unlike this podcast, I title our episodes what they're fucking about. So you can like just scroll through, and if you see a subject that interests you, give it a watch. We are available on all podcast platforms as well. But, you know, the YouTube channel, we share a lot of art, and Erica will make notes. There is a more interactive element with the YouTube videos.
Definitely like listen to the podcast, but you're going to get more out of the YouTube
Well,
channel.
plus you get to see Alyssa dying on mute on a regular basis, because you can't hear it on the podcast, but that bitch is laughing her ass off like so much. She just dies, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of interplay between people that it doesn't come across in the audio. But it's a lot of fun. And but yeah, I figured I should probably
what you created with the podcast too is, you know, anybody out there listening to this, if you had, you know, any aspirations at all to being an author, this is a good place to start, because a lot of people forget that like writing a book is really one of the hardest things you can do.
If you say so.
Creating a world.
Pretty much everybody I know does it. So
creating characters, you know, that narrative that runs through it. Everybody thinks that they're going to write the best novel ever. And then they get down and they start getting writer's block because those elements are missing.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. That's a different subject altogether, writer's block. But
what the Shadow Spark podcast does is like you guys break down all of these things.
Yeah.
Each episode has its own topic centered around, you know, whatever.
We have writing focused episodes. We have world building focused episodes. We have just random
fun episodes where you talk about your favorite things.
Sure.
Which are always fun.
A lot of different things that, you know, we go through. We've been doing it for over a year now.
How many episodes you got now? Like 70 something?
No, well, we do. Ours is weekly as well. Ours is a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
So they recorded 60 and 61 yesterday, and I have to edit them.
Okay.
So
I knew it was up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you've only been doing it for a little over a year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, because there's 52 weeks in a year, my love.
Yeah.
And it's a weekly podcast. Do you see how this works?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm not going to do a weekly podcast, at least not right now, but.
Well, there's also more of us, right? And there's weeks when I'm not on. There's weeks when Val isn't on, or Alyssa, or Erica. And we have other authors come on. If they're passionate about, you know, whatever the topic is, you know, they'll come on and share their thing. And
I got to be in the right frame of mind.
No, I know. Well, it's like today. We were like, are we recording today? Does it feel right? Does this feel like a recording day?
Right.
Because we could have done it yesterday, and you're like, yeah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm like, no. Yeah.
Like, you know, we have options, and I like having those options open because I don't want my life to be constrained by like just recording schedules. I want to do this when it's fun. I want to do this when I am in the right mind and
My entire life
ready
is
to talk
dictated by
for 2.5
schedules.
hours or
Many,
whatever.
many schedules.
Yeah.
That you just have to kind of be able to turn it on.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, the Shadow Spark podcast, I would recommend.
Yeah,
watching
but
the
Shadow
YouTube
Spark
channel.
Publishing, we do have some other things on there. Most of it is the podcast, but like I made a book trailer for the book that I, released last week,
Yeah.
and
That trailer was really good, by the way.
thank you. I
Yeah,
made
it's
that.
amazing.
I was really pleased with it.
Yeah.
I watched it a lot. It's like 30 seconds, and I'm like, oh, it's epic.
was like
yeah.
It's like when Bullet Machine wrote my theme song.
Yeah, I know.
was just, like,
No, I
listening to it
did. I
on
was
loop.
showing it to everyone. Look at my thing. I made a book trailer. Tee. It's called Annihilation 1 book trailer. But yeah, no, and I know Azure, one of our other authors, Azure Rain, has created some short form content. Basically, anyone who's a Shadow Spark author, if they create something and want it put on the YouTube channel,
And don't you
Alyssa
guys
will throw it up
feature,
there.
like the artwork.
Oh yeah,
on
well
the channel?
that's one of the things that the video episodes of the podcast do is, if there's interior art, the covers, we'll talk about the covers of the book and what goes into it, and we love talking about, because this is whatever hot take, I don't fucking care. We are very staunchly anti-AI, especially generative AI type shit when it comes to writing or art.
Yes.
We've made it public multiple times that not now nor ever will Shadow Spark be associated with anything like that. So we love to talk about real actual people artists who do things, because some of our writers are artists as well.
Things that are impressive.
I'm not. Oh yeah, no, it's fucking astounding. And
Computer generated.
no, I'm not even going down that. But fuck AI. But yeah, so it's just fun. It's fun to do. And yeah, go check it out if you want.
Okay.
That's the end of my list.
Yeah, I mean we're done here.
We're done here.
We're done.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Off. Leave. Go away.
What the fuck are you still doing here?
Get out of my house.
Me? Fuck you.
Yeah, you too.
No.
All of you leave.
I'm taking the Mew.
So yeah, that was just some more channels that we didn't cover in the first video. This video is very different from the other one because
This
neither one
video?
of us, or a podcast, whatever.
Episode?
This episode,
Yeah.
because neither one of us were really trying to be funny on this one. We were just
I never try to be funny. I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But no, it's more of like these are a different flavor of videos, right? For the most part, I mean, Nux is dynamic as shit. But a lot of these are more chill or just learning type things. And that's kind of the headspace I've been in more lately. And I like that. I get all of the chaos energy I need from Nux Taku, so everything else is a little more chill to balance things out.
That's a good way to live.
I try.
All right, well, where can people find you?
I am Jess Moon. I'm at JHL Moon on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. People have been responding to me on Facebook. I saw on Instagram, but I can't even log into my Facebook. So I don't know what the fuck they're saying because I've been sharing. I had a book release, right? It's Annihilation 1, by the way. The Albertine Axiom, Annihilation 1. Go to shadowsparkpub.com and look at the top for the Albertine Axiom. It's a fucking awesome book, and I'm really proud of myself.
You should be.
Thank you. You haven't read it, so you don't actually know. But I'm telling you, it's awesome. And we're getting good feedback. And I sent out a lot of signed copies to people, and it was a really successful launch. And yeah, but anyways, so I was posting a lot of book promo shit on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And it'll tell me, oh, you've got likes and comments on Facebook. Like in my notifications now.
Uh-huh.
I can't fucking log into Facebook. So if anybody is listening to this,
What's the issue?
I don't know my password.
Oh, is it not retrievable?
No, because it's linked to some old fucking email I don't even have access to anymore.
I thought iPhones saved all those passwords and shit.
I have not logged into Facebook since 2015.
Damn. Crazy.
Anyways, if anybody is listening to this and has been leaving me comments on Facebook, I can't fucking see them. I'm not ghosting you. I'm sorry. I cannot access my Facebook. Please find me on Instagram or Twitter or Blue Sky. That's where I am.
JHL Moon.
At JHL Moon.
Right on.
Yeah.
And you can find me. I'm on Twitter, Facebook.
Hey,
Instagram.
that actually, Chad, log into your Facebook and go comment on my whatever people are talking about on my Facebook. Go tell them I can't access them and contact me on Insta. I'm not trying to piss anybody off or come off as rude because I'm sharing the posts from Instagram.
Yeah, I'll do that as soon as we're done here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's end the episode. I need to let these people know that I'm not ghosting them.
Oh yeah, you can find me Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
At Chad J. Moon.
Yeah, well, my name changes so much.
Well, not your though, not your handle.
Well,
you don't change that.
And by the way, I'm barely on Facebook. If you see posts on Facebook, it's probably because it's linked to my Instagram.
Exactly. I share.
Yeah. So Facebook is where I go for family, people I know in my real life. Instagram is where I go for like bands I like, movies, all those things that I subscribe to.
And Twitter is where you go to talk shit and flirt with Valerie Storm.
Yes. Yes.
Which is, to be fair, exactly how Twitter should be used.
I do far more of my interactions on Twitter than I do anything else.
Yeah, me too.
Just because, like, I want to have those things separated. I want to know that I can go to Facebook to talk to my sister if I need to. Like, that's what that's for. It's keeping in touch with my family and, like, friends from high school and shit. But, yeah, look for me on Twitter if you want to interact with me, because that's where I am most of the time. I get far more traction there than anywhere else, really. Yeah. But, yeah, we'll call that an episode.
Yay, we did it.
Before we go.
Oh, just kidding.
If you would. I don't want to be this guy. But
oh, God, he's about to be this guy. What?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, smash that like button.
Smash that bell. Fuck that like button.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you don't need to do that.
If nothing else, just, go and leave a review of some kind.
Leave a review. Leave an honest review.
I need feedback on this podcast.
Tell him why he sucks.
What we're doing wrong. And that's fine. If you want to tell me I suck, please tell me I suck.
Dude, he's used to it. I tell him it all the time.
I'll probably agree with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But feedback is very important because,
it is.
If we're going to...
Dude, what works? What do you like? What do you not fucking like? Yeah, doesn't necessarily mean we'll change any fucking thing.
Some examples our way. Let us know what you want to hear us talk about. And we'll do it,
Maybe. But, depending on what it is. Don't fucking make that promise, dude. Not even my podcast, but you are my husband and I got to protect you from that shit. Yeah. We will take it under advisement.
Sure. But yeah, just leave a review or something if you can. No one's forcing you, but it'd be appreciated.
You know what would be really good right now?
What?
Some kick-ass Bullet Machine music. Do you have any?
I do.